Did you get everything you need for this?
No, give me 30 seconds,
Okay.
or go ahead and I'll start.
That's my note. I must not.
It's just starting the YouTube stream, and I usually copy it to papers too, but that's just.
Like to call the October audit meeting, Town of Hector to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The other thing.
That's me. I'm making my phone to sit up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The same problem as last time.
Like you were leaning against here?
It will, and then like, when you did the gavel, it fall out.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for September 9th as written.
I'll second.
We have a first and second to approve the minutes. Any questions or comments on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
I
All right, that moves us to,
You have this thing you need to do.
okay.
I just got given it this afternoon.
All right, we have a number of budget journal entries we need to approve.
This one, is do that one separately because it's a general journal. It's not a budget. I have that one on the agenda, on my notes first.
Okay. All right, we need to transfer $4,117.50 from A 599 fund balance to A 1420.4 for attorney contractual. A lot of money we're spending on attorney business at this point in time, so we got to fund that line. Transfer $10.99 from A 1990.4 contingency to A 3310.4 traffic control. We need to fund $10,586.72 from DB 599 fund balance to DB 5112.2 chips. We're transferring $1,896.53 from the water contingency, which is SW 1990.4 to SW 8340.4 transmission and distribution. And then as we're catching up with the ambulance and new billing service, we have to do some transfers to pay those bills as well. So $60 from SM 599 fund balance to SM 4540.42 the ambulance Trimsburg, and then transfer $40 from SM 599 fund balance to SM 4540.43 ambulance Mecklenburg.
I'll make a motion to approve all the budget amendments, journal entries.
I second the motion.
We have a first and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we also have a journal entry. We need to make some adjustments for HIP camp. One of the ways we're receiving money at Smith Park. And so we need to debit Smith Park contractual 7110.4, $136.50, and move it to A 2001 Parks and Recreation charges $136.50. It's just simply moving money between accounts from where it shows up to where it should be.
Move it around.
And we have first
Second.
and a second. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And we need to move the bills as audited.
I make a motion to approve the bills are audited.
I second the motion.
We have a first and a second. Any questions or comments about the bills to be paid? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Right.
Did Mecklenburg come on way under budget? And payment?
Not way under, but did go under about $4 grand. 34,000.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, motion carries. Typically at this time, we'd have the county legislator give us an update. He wasn't able to attend, so I'd like to invite our public health representative to share what she came to share today.
Hello, that is me. So my name is Mandy Walls. Said I do work for Scout County Public Health. I live in the town of Hector right off of Willoughby Road. So hopefully you guys will be seeing a little bit more of me. I brought some information for each of you and then some extras for anybody else who'd like some. But basically, we are right in the middle of doing what we call our community health assessment, which means we need as much input from the public as possible to tell us what are the most pressing issues for everybody. And that helps us come up with a plan for the next, 1, 2 to 5 years.
Rabid animals.
That is definitely one of the things that we work on every day, so.
Anything for
For
me
sure.
yesterday.
So yeah, and I do have some information in here on rabies. We do have some clinics coming up for vaccination. That's also in here. Don't want to take up too much more of your time, but just I'll have some in here for everybody, and I'll just leave these. But like I said, I am a resident, so anything that comes up, just give us a call at the health department. We're happy to help. All
Thank you.
Thank you.
right. Is there a good place to make sure? All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it is 7:07. I will open a 10-minute public comment period. If you do have a comment, you could please share your name and where you reside.
Lisa Dean, I live in South Street. Does anybody know if all of the candidates are going to be in Searsburg Thursday for discussions?
I do not know for sure if they're all going to be there or not. They've all been invited.
I'll be there.
I was just hoping like the ones running for town clerk and stuff.
They've all been invited, the county as well as the town clerk, as well as the board members. I believe they've heard from town clerk. When I spoke with the gentleman really behind organizing this, he got confirmation from most everybody. So I think so, 6 o'clock
Searsburg where?
at the Grand.
Range Hall. Still using now. Bless it.
Anybody else?
I didn't know that, Scott.
Scott?
Well, I want to introduce myself, Lisa Munzer. I am a resident of Smith Park in the summers, and my husband and I own land in Tompkins in Enfield. We're planning to move in here, and Smith Park has been a wonderful place to, not only be here with my family. I have 2 adult children, both in Schuyler County. Jason did a lot of work on the house. He was so it's been really nice getting to know. We didn't do work, we checked it, but whatever. My son and daughter-in-law have a farm up in Burdette, and so my grandchildren come. Mallory always sees me walking around with baby stroller, and they love Smith Park. We love it, and there's just a lot of changes right now. And I needed to just become a little clearer, and it was really great being able to see the website tonight, because I was able to see what actually is being proposed. I know that Peg and I we're next to each other in sites, which has been a wonderful thing too, because we've made friends. It's been a real community at Smith, and I'm just a little, concerned. We've been so lucky. The grandchildren come down. They enjoy the camper family gatherings at the lake. And I just so think that's the spirit of the Smith Park, like how it was originally deeded. And we may not be able to come based on how the lottery or whatever is happening. And then again, I also feel like a full season is really helpful for a camper. When you come in with a camper, we're very light campers. For 3 months, you know, it's in and out. It's a lot of work. And again, it doesn't tie you as well as a full season. I'll also say that there's a lot of advantage to having us as seasonal campers, not just us, but everybody. Because one of the things we do is we're sort of like a neighborhood watch. You know, we keep an eye on things, you know, it's our home for the summer. We also help people that are coming in, the transient folks. Oh, I don't have a hatchet, I don't have this, or that, oh, let me help you with this. Oh, where do you know, what do you know about this? You know, they ask questions and, you know, we're there and, we're happy to do that, because it's just part of it. And I also think, I saw the revenue stream and I was pretty amazed by how much more you take in for transient folks, but also just realizing that rain and shine, you have the revenue from seasonal campers. You know, transient is based on weather and I think, you know, it's a beautiful park. And I'm sure it will grow, with transient. We're sad to lose our sites, but we'll hopefully we'll get a site and, hopefully there will be some option to have full season. And that's it.
Yes, sir.
How much time do we have left?
6 minutes?
All right, Dave Poyer, I live in Mecklenburg. How's the budget go this year?
We are about between a third and a halfway through the budget.
Okay. Is it to my understanding, that the highway department wants to go union?
That's our understanding as well.
And why is that reason?
You have to ask the highway department.
Okay. Is it to my understanding that we're paying a good sum of money for an employee to draw the budget for this year?
I'm not sure.
Well, I heard through the grapevine that there's an employee in the hall here that's getting paid an extra $1,800 to draw up the budget for this year.
It's $1,500 and that's the way that the budget has been for. And
Is this person doing this work at an 8-hour day, 5 days a week?
this person is doing it as an assistant budget officer.
Are they doing it on a Saturday and Sunday or taking it home with them?
Maybe taking it home some, but I'm the chief budget officer. I'm doing the primary budgeting. I have a person that assists with that.
But I don't understand if the person is working during the day, 5 days a week here, why is she getting paid extra money to do the drawing up of the budget?
There's been it's a separate job item title,
She's doing it during the regular day.
correct?
Why is she getting, what is she doing all day long then? I mean, when I sat on the board, this is part of the part that I've never liked is, well, we're doing a little extra work, so we need to, I need to get more extra money for that.
It's part of,
When I was on the board, our assessor come to me and wanted extra money. Okay. And I said, are you doing this? Are you coming in on a Saturday and Sunday and doing it? She goes, no, I do it during the day when I'm there. Then why the hell are you getting the extra money? You're getting paid for what you do. It don't make any difference if you're, I just don't understand it. And where does it end?
it's a separate line item. Most of the positions within the town hall have multiple line items depending on what part of the town budget their responsibility comes out of. The majority of the staff members are paid a little bit here, a little bit here, and a little bit here to make their entire budget pack or their entire salary package whole.
Oh, boy. Okay. But you have no idea why what's the highway department asking for this year, do you know?
We're legally not obligated to, or legally forbidden to discuss it with them at this point in time until the union paperwork goes through.
Well,
I just think I don't know the reason for the highway department to go union other than they're not getting the money that they want. Now they will. And I also like to add into there, the highway department has a hell of a responsibility maintaining these roads, and they should be getting paid better than what they're getting.
Yes, I think that's probably why they wanna go union.
Yeah. Or,
That's probably why they wanna go union,
because they
to
don't
get a
get
fair
money.
wage.
Okay, that's it.
Anybody else?
I guess I would add, I also a camper at Smith Park. And, just if you're not a camper regularly, you may not realize how much it's appreciated that I've been camping since I was a little kid, and it's kind of a haven for us who, spend a lot of time there. And, I really just would express my opinion that I think it's important to consider keeping some seasonal sites for those of us who use it a lot. Bring our grandkids there and enjoy it all the time. I think that's unfortunate that a lot of the local people have been pushed out by some of the cost raises and the policies of having to move everything out of there every year. It's been really difficult for us. It's really appreciated. It's been a haven for us, and I don't want to be pushed out of it. Honestly, I'm not thinking that the town owes me anything at all, but I really love the spot and I'm attached to it. I'm most disappointed, I think, that the process did not involve some kind of survey or opinion gathering of residents, and especially those who use it a lot. I mean, a lot of these things have come down and are like blown away by them because there's such major changes. I guess that's all I really wanted to express, is that where's the survey? You know, where's the input from everybody? And how are these decisions made?
I agree.
If there's no further comments,
Well, a
we'll
member,
close the public comment period, and then one more.
yeah,
On Mount Road, Kenny Burr asked me to come just to remind everybody that, Leaf Candidates is 1016 6th and 8th at Super Grange at 6126 Burr Road.
Thank you.
are you able to hear me?
I think there's a comment through the Zoom. Hang on. Are you trying to make a comment?
Yeah.
Hang on. Can you turn up the volume on the, hang on, we can't hear you in the room. Or you can type in the chat and I can read it as well, if that's easier. I think it's on your, it sounds like it's coming out of there.
All you're read.
Let's try now. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jana, and my husband is Yuri Melendovich, and we are also residents of Smith. I just want to second something that the other members have said. And, we have waited a couple years to get the spot that we have at Smith Park, and we believe that we probably wouldn't stay if there was split up needs, and we would rather keep it the way that it is. I also have a couple other friends that I've made at the park, and they are also frequent like campers or seasonal campers like us, and I don't know if they're on the Zoom, but they also don't like the months being split up, and it's just too hard to take the camper out, put it back, and like for it to stay the same, or if there's something different besides having to pull it out at the end of 3 months. And I don't like having to pick the beginning of the season or the end of the season, because in the middle is like when I prefer, mostly because of the being hot and being able to use the lake.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Volume 41.
All right, that we're gonna close the public comment period. And I'm gonna have Kirk Smith has a couple things he wants to share on behalf of Schuyler County Emergency Management, and then we're gonna move on to you, Diane.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I think you should come up to the front. People could see you better.
What's that?
Come up, yeah, there you
My
go.
name is Kirk Smith. I'm Director of Emergency Services, Emergency Management for Schuyler County. I've been working closely with some of the town board members. We have to, with next gen 911 coming, many things are changing within the communities as a whole. But one of the things we have to take a look at is going to make changes, starting in the town of Hector, is we have to start looking at renaming and readdressing some of the Seneca Lake roads. The cottage roads, the lack of the private roads for down to the lake. Back in the 50s, when the fire numbering system was created, most of the roads then were just a dirt road to maybe a fishing cabin, maybe 2 fishing cabins, and they never really updated that numbering system since then. And so though we Schuyler County, the Emergency Management Office created the problem, unfortunately now it falls on me to fix the problem that was created. So here we are today. There's 68 named roads that go off of Route 414, many of which are the cottage roads within the town of Hector. As it stands today and working through this, it appears to be there's about 581 addresses they're going to have to change within the town of Hector on private roads. It brings a lot of changes to a lot of things. The new numbering standard, right now, every 30 feet, the number changes by 1. So every 30 feet, right or left, either odd or even, changes a number by 1. The new standard we're going to be changed to is 10 feet. So that'll allow me to do 528 residences per mile. Now, that seems like a lot until somebody buys a 10-acre field and builds another La Brigade or La Brigade circle. Then all of a sudden, you have 40 or 50 different addresses, and all of a sudden, the numbers get eaten up really quickly in that mile. So that would be the new standard to drop it down from the 30 to the 10 feet. The other thing we have to do with next gen 911, which is really important for emergency services, is all these spurs. I'll use Nichols Road for an example. The entirety of Nichols Road is Nichols Road. It doesn't matter if you go to the left spur, the right spur. The only way you know how to find somebody is typically there are cute little signs up top that say, well, if you want to go see Alice or Jesse, go to the right. And if you want to see Nick or Bill, go to the left. But that's really the only way you know to get there. So these spurs all now have to have a name. That's part of the new numbering NENA standard, which is the National Emergency Numbering Association, or NENA. So we're going to be naming these spurs. So Nichols Road is the main road down to the lake, but the spur that was off to the north, we're going to have to look at naming that as Nichols Road North or something that'll change that. So inherently it's going to bring a lot of changes to the town board, to the town of Hector. I've been meeting with the board a lot to try to address some of these things to get ahead of it. I'm not saying you have to in the north, I'm not saying you have to name an extension. We're willing to work with people to pick their own names, as long as the residents, 3 or 4 people on that road can agree to that name. I'm amenable to name it whatever they choose, as long as it's not already taken within the county. What I'm gonna have to do, work with the town board, is to, I want to come to the next several board meetings, if that's okay with the town. I'd like to address questions, concerns, and also I'm going to have a couple informational sessions come the first of the year, January, February timeframe, both at the Hector Fire Department and at the Burdett Fire Department, utilizing their space, where people can come ask questions, get their concerns addressed, see me and talk face to face, not a phone call. I want to be accessible to the public. I want people to hear why we're making these changes and the need for these changes. It wasn't that long ago. Volunteers was high, really high. Everybody wanted to be a volunteer. Everybody wanted to drive a pretty red fire truck and make noise. And them days are coming to an end. It wasn't all that many years ago when he got toned out for a fire. You know, you could look at the highway supervisor and he knew every person on that road. He knew exactly where Joe lived or Bill lived or whatever. Them days are gone. Same with my 911 dispatchers we hire on a regular basis. The last 3 we hired is not from Schuyler County at all. So when they're going to Nichols Road or Peach Orchard Point, the only thing they see is an address point on a map. That name, that person, that structure means nothing to them. So they have a mapping system with address points that they can direct emergency services to the right house in the right place. But the numbering system is not there to allow to do that. When they built these roads many, many years ago, they didn't make the range long enough on the roads. So they only allowed for 30 houses on a road to be built. Well, we have well exceeded that on many lake roads, so we're out of fire numbers to give. The particular road I picked on was Nichols Road, only because a gentleman recently came to me and bought a bunch of property. He's building 2 new houses on Nichols Road, and he wants to build eventually 4 for his kids and his in-laws. So, and that's great for the town of Hector, and that's great for the economy here, but we have no fire numbers to give them because of the range, there's none left. So that's why we have to redo these roads, so we can have fire numbers for them. So the mistake was made many years ago. I don't think they thought of the progress. And what I mean by progress, I want to just give you a quick little point. As I am the addressing authority for the county, so we do the addresses every year for people. I think I've given 84 fire numbers, new fire numbers for new construction in Schuyler County since January 1st of 2025 through today. Of those 84 or 85 fire numbers I've given this year, over 70% are in the town of Hector. That's the growth in the town of Hector. I haven't done 10 other fire numbers around the entire county. It's all happening here. I'm not saying that because I'm standing here. I have the proof. I give it out every month at the board meetings. And well, I know how much I meet with Jason. So the growth here is substantial. And I'm just talking about the gentleman on Nichols Road who wants to build 2 houses and 2 more in another year because he's building 4 new houses. So it's happening a lot. So it's caused this to happen. So I'd like to hold the informational sessions to do that. We're going to have to discuss with the town about some ideas. I want to be upright and with it is typically the highway department does not do signage on private roads. But if we're going to change the names of these private roads, all the first have to be named now for the purpose of 911 and finding residences and all things we're going to do. We're going to have to discuss how that process is going to take place. How's that cost get bared to make the sign? And I think that County Highway makes most of your signs, right? And so there's a lot of logistical things we have to work on. So I want to, then we got to change the addresses. I'm hoping over the next 2 months, I'm not hoping, I will, by the December meeting, I will have a mock scale put together to show what every lake road will look like. For some reason, back many years ago, they numbered the roads from the lake up, and we're not sure why they did that. I can't answer to that. Back in I don't know, like 70 years ago. That's uncommon from any standard you meet nowadays. You always number off the main road. So if you ever pay attention to a cottage road, they're backwards from any other road you go to. The numbers are lower at the lake, higher at 414. That's opposite from anywhere you go. We're going to change that whole number system. We're going to start out at 0 at the intersection of 414 and Nichols Road. We'll just pick on again, and then the numbers will change systematically the whole length of that particular road and every other cottage road. These changes are not specific to the town of Hector. It's only specific to the town of Hector based upon the immediate need both for Nichols Road and the fact of the growth that's happening in this particular township. So we're going to start here in the town of Hector, but this will eventually affect every township that has cottage roads within the lake. So we'll be leaving the town of Hector once we complete the project, and we'll be going to the town of Reading, and we'll be going to the town of Tyrone and town of Catherine for all the roads that have lakes. So there's many changes that have to be made. I would anticipate that we'll do the public hearings after the first of the year, and I don't say public hearings, public meetings. I just want people to, number one, I want people, if they have a lot to complain about, if it's somebody's fault, I don't know if there's blame to be made, but it's not. I came to the town of Hector with this idea. So though they're supportive and they understand the change, and I've explained it to them to the best of my ability, and to be fair, I have not met with each and every one of you, but I have met with several. So they understand the need. They understand the need for emergency services, but the change needs to happen. And there's no particular blame to be made other than the fact we just did not build the roads big enough for the growth in this township. I've worked with the Hector I would put together an informational package that I would send to people if your address is changing to remind you that other little things that need to be changed, like your driver's license, like your pistol permit. For those of you that have pistol permits, don't forget to change that. It doesn't affect your deed. That was really good news. It has nothing to do with your deed to your house because that's done by your parcel number, not your address. So it has nothing to do with the deed to your property. But you need to inform your insurance company of a new mailing address. So there's little things, and we would provide a letter from the county stating that it was done for an official reason. You're not just trying to get the insurance company to send a bill to your neighbor. You really did change your address. So we would provide that information on an official letterhead to try to make things in this process as easy as possible. I understand it's going to be overwhelming to some people. Hopefully there's a lot of people that don't get their mail on these cottage roads. Or seasonal people, they have a post office box and they don't really get a lot of mail at home. But there is going to be some that are affected. So I want to put a name and a face. I want to let you know that my phone number to the county is 607-535-8200. I'm available every day of the week. If I'm not there, leave a message. I'll call you back. The phone does ring over to my cell phone, so 90% of the time I do answer. But I want to put a name and a face, and I'll start addressing concerns as they come up. But I look forward to further meetings with the town, both at board level and privately, to start addressing any concerns that they may have. But I would entertain any questions that you may have or thoughts as to some things we've talked about.
Well, I think first off, I appreciate you coming in. We've had multiple conversations on this, but having the meetings in January and February are problematic for all the seasonal residents.
And I was going to offer up Zoom sessions for all those as well. So thank you for bringing that up. I was going to offer up Zoom as well, but I would also be more than happy to move into April, May with those. The project itself, I would like to have a timeline of getting something done by August or so. That would be my goal. But I'm certainly willing to have spring meetings as well. And I was also going to offer Zoom sessions so people could converse over the computer.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you. Like I said, feel free to call, ask questions or anything you have. I'm always there and available to talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, let's move on to the Reynoldsville Community Club.
Good afternoon or evening. I'm Diane Carl. If anybody here doesn't know who I am, I wrote notes and all this stuff because I'm not a good speaker. But anyway, the Reynoldsville Community Club. I've been the treasurer of the Reynoldsville Community Club for the past 16 years. The Reynoldsville Community Club was established, I believe, in 1956 and is an original one-room schoolhouse right here in Reynoldsville. One of its main goals was to keep the building from being destroyed and to keep the schoolhouse for community use. I'm sorry to say it may have come the time to sell the building, and that's why I'm here. Unfortunately, over the years, membership, rentals, and fundraisers have declined, making it very difficult to maintain the building, let alone pay the insurance, utilities, and the upkeep. Volunteers are very difficult to find, and all the younger generation has little to no interest in getting involved, just like Mr. Smith explained the fire departments. There has been talk for years about expanding the town hall due to lack of space here. I think quite a few can agree on that. Offices are being shared. Actually, part of this boardroom was subdivided. That wall was never there. That wall was built to subdivide to put an assessor in there. Now the supervisor's in there, and they used to share it with the codes. Everybody shares, and it's a wonderful thing, but you have outgrown this building. I was on the board, they talked about jacking this up and putting a basement under here, cutting the roof off and extending it, just to try to get more space. So my idea is, plus we pay the county storage facilities. I believe all of the records that have to be kept are kept in storage, and we pay the county for that. So that's kind of one of the expenses you could maybe get rid of as far as records management. It's really one of a kind and possibly the only schoolhouse in the town that not used for residential purposes. Because I know several that are.
Where is it located?
Right down the road.
Been across.
Right here in Reynoldsville, right across from United Methodist Church. It sets back in quite a way, so it's,
Huh.
you don't, it doesn't stick out there like a sore thumb until you drive up to it. But, Lisa Bean is here with me. She's a trustee on the board. We've worked relentlessly, raising funds, and, we've improved the property. We put a new pavilion in, a covered pavilion, picnic tables, storage shed, the lawnmower's there, the gas can's there. It's got a fairly new kitchen. Well, that's not really fairly new, but it's a kitchen. And, quit laughing at me, Scott. And, a bathroom, obviously, because originally it was an outdoor bathroom, now we have an inside plumbing.
Well, it's not shut all back.
Well, the shed's still there. Anyway, the reason I'm here, the club would like to propose the town of Hector purchase this property for public use and resolve office and storage issues such as locate all the historical records within that building, possibly move it in a polling place there instead of here, establish an office for whoever wants to move there, and just opening space here in the town hall. And other ideas that hopefully others will come up with if, need be. I realize the decision cannot be made tonight. I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Food for thought. I know you're working on your budget. It's not going to happen this year anyway. But we have a dilemma, and if we don't sell it to you, we're going to sell it to Tom, Dick, or Harry, whoever shows up. We have to look into legalities as far as who has the authority to sell it. I know we're incorporated. We're not a not-for-profit, so I don't know that we have to get deeply involved in the Supreme Court thing to do that with, because I'm very familiar with that. But appraisals and all that stuff. So we've got a long road to hoe, but we really just wanted to throw it out to the town first because it is right here in Reynoldsville, and it's
Being
just
the historic,
it's
old school
yeah,
house.
the chalkboards are still on the wall. There's a couple old desks in there that, I got involved because my mom went to school there.
Oh, wow.
She was a dean, and all the deans in Reynoldsville went to school there. And that's how I got involved probably 20 years ago. And so anyway, again, I know, a decision can't be made tonight. I just wanted to present it for a future proposal. Anybody want a tour of it? Anybody got questions? I'd be more than out, or I'm more than available.
Hey,
Well,
Diane,
not more than available, but I am available.
what year was it built?
Couldn't tell you. Before I was born.
It's a stone foundation, it has a well and a septic, electric.
Yeah, it's been modernized as far as because we did dinners and chicken barbecues and we've done raffles. We dug plants out of our yard one year and had a plant sale down there. Trying to raise money.
You did an open house just for the community? Because I would love to go see it, but.
Putting your for sale sign would probably move things a
Yeah,
little.
that's what I said. I said just go in here and having me on that camera right there and probably out in La La Land. They're gonna go, oh, don't sell it, well, gotta be a member, put the money in the till and we'll keep going. But right now,
I rented it myself for the
yes.
last 3 months, once a month to host a farm swap. And, we still didn't get a huge turnout for that, there was a lot of comments on Facebook, oh, it's such a historic building, I'm so glad they're using it again. Well,
No,
it's historic, come on out, see it, participate, be part of it, and we're not getting that, and it's hard. I mean, even our own kids don't want to be part of it. Everybody's got different lives now. Nobody wants to be part of clubs and committees and be responsible for things like that. They've got so many other responsibilities for their families. And I mean, face it, we're all getting to the age that we can't climb on ladders and paint buildings and keep hosting fundraisers. This place afloat that is not being used anymore.
Yeah, it's a beautiful building. I mean, it is the original one-room schoolhouse with the chalkboards.
I think the bill is still
So just food for thought, really. We
Thank
don't
you.
know what we're doing. We just had a meeting and discussed certain things and then I volunteered to come here.
No, thank you very much.
So thank you for your time and thank you for your consideration.
Yes, I am.
Right. We're gonna move into the department reports, and we're gonna start right off with the sustainability committee.
Well, thank you. The Sustainability Committee would like to submit a mini proposal to Sustainable Finger Lakes to build a small pollinator garden at Mecklenburg Community Park. Sustainable Finger Lakes is a Tompkins County-based organization, and up until this year, they only offered these grants to Tompkins County, but they've added Skylar, and they will give out between $150 and $750 for some proposal that promotes sustainability. This pollinator garden would be about 100 square feet, so not very big. We would plant all native pollinator species that are different and insects. That sustainability committee and the Mecklenburg Community Park Friends group would plant it, and then the Friends group would maintain it in the future. What we are proposing is to request $350 in this mini grant to Sustainable Finger Lakes and have that matched by the town. This request would be for $350 match from the town of Hector. So it's 100 square foot pollinator garden. It also will include a sign that would acknowledge the funding from Sustainable Finger Lakes.
Yeah, the sustainability committee has a budget, right?
Yeah.
So they can use their money. They don't need permission from us, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want us to do that, we can do that. Well,
I think that would be, I mean, at this point in time, most of your budget's still there, more than $350.
we'll use, okay, yeah, our budget's $500. We'll use the, okay. So I'll submit the proposal then and indicate that $350 match is coming from the town of Hector.
Yep.
Posted, that will make them look, smile.
It's a great idea. Thank you for taking this on.
Yeah, that's some ideas for future ones. I think they're gonna be looking at grants to come in about every 6 months. So we've got a whole bunch of little ideas maybe. The other thing I wanted to talk about is tomorrow is our watershed forum, the first one we're having in the town of Hector. It's to try to help people in the community understand issues related to water quality of our streams and lakes and groundwater. We have 2 speakers. We have Daryl Sturgis coming in from Schuyler County. He's our watershed inspector. He's going to talk all about septic systems, how to build them, how to maintain them, grants that might be available. And then the second speaker is Jason Sandbound, our code enforcement officer, who will talk about floodplain building regulations and other building regulations, how to get permits. And so we're hoping people come tomorrow at 7 at the Hector Fire Company. We're going to have light refreshments. It will be about an hour. Please come.
Liz, do you want to speak to the solar bid?
Yeah, I am a little bit, the whole bit didn't come through in the email, and so I'm a little disappointed because this is we only received 1 bid, but it does not include all the things we asked for in the bid packet.
I copied some of it, but this is the bid packet.
I see.
So
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff.
Okay.
It was not something easy to scan and put in
Okay.
there because I don't know
What?
parts. I was the only one here when the bids were turned in, the only one here
Mhm.
when I opened them.
Mhm.
And there was only the 1 bid from Renovus.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I was expecting I would have had somebody else from the town board here that day, but nobody.
If you'll hand that over to me, I'd like to at least see it. I mean, Renovus has done good work in their other projects. I just was confused to not see it all contained in the bid, but I see it's in the folder.
Because there was so much.
So, yeah, we can accept this now, or we could accept it during the supervisor's report. Give me a minute to at least see all the components in it. Either's okay. But the stuff that came through email, it wasn't quite as much information as it would have been helpful to have. But I see they submitted it all here. So, do you want to accept it now? Or?
I think we should go ahead and do it. The big most important part about this is this would be a solar array to help offset the electricity charges for the town of Hector. It is being fully funded by grants that we have earned through working with the Sustainability Committee in the town of Hector. So this is no expense to the town, and it's bid for essentially in the former dump site over where the dump was. So it's not an area that we can really develop or sell. Once again, we have been awarded $60,000. Well, part of the grant that we're going to use this is up to $60,000. They bid a price for $59,777. Our goal, our desire was to offset the cost of electricity from the town of Hector. And moving forward, hopefully that's what this would provide. You know, it's not costing us out of our pockets. So it's a great opportunity for us to take advantage of. And it's one of multiple grants we've received through our sustainability committee.
Where's the solar lights gonna go?
It's solar panels. It's a ground mounted array. Yeah. And it'll be in the back of the Tuttle Road dump site. Over the, yeah. Questions, comments on the board? Do we want to review it more before we?
Does it tell us what the panels that they put in, what the kilowatt?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's in this
generation is
information.
going to
Yeah.
be? I see the case study.
Yeah, it's 22 kilowatt ground mounted system. And after 15 years, it'll, you know, at the current cost of electricity, it will be making money for the town after, you know, it's paid back the grant money that paid for it.
22
kilowatt hours.
What's the lifespan of the panel?
Generally, they're guaranteed for 25 years for sure. I think that information is in here as well. Panels include a 25-year linear performance guarantee provided by the manufacturer. But generally, they say they don't know because they've only been around 40 years and the first ones are still working. You know, like the first solar panels.
Probably have to replace them sometime. They get this weather film on them.
I suppose that might be possible, yeah. So.
Well, if that happens,
25-year warranty.
That's from the manufacturer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Who's responsible for the panels when they're no longer any good?
That's a good question. As I said, like the earliest panels that are put up in the 70s are still working. So in general, that's not a question that's been answered yet because
Well, it must say the contract, though, doesn't it?
I do not believe that that is something that we ask for because generally they're considered to have a 40+ year lifespan.
We do have a solar local law, so they have to meet all the requirements of the solar local law.
No, I don't think so because this is a household size.
Under the threshold.
I mean, it's more like a household than a solar production facility. So, yeah. All right.
I'll make a motion to accept the Renovus Energy grant for the solar panels.
I'll second the motion.
We have a first and a second. Are there further questions or comments?
Yeah, I got a quick question or comment.
Who's gonna engineer?
Renovus is.
They do the
They do
engineering.
the engineering and all that.
Because we had a set dollar amount that the grant covered, it was very straightforward from basically breaking down the ground until they plug it in,
hook it up.
It has to be fully operational at that expense.
The only question I have is their total base price is $59,777, and then they put in parentheses after New York Sun grant.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, there's a $5,500 grant that they apply for and then they get, and then it goes straight to them. I mean, they apply for it and then it's paid directly to them. So
Okay.
it's actually another $5,500, but you know,
I
that,
didn't-
yeah,
I
that
didn't
never
know what
comes
that
to
was,
us, yeah.
so, Thank you.
Mhm.
Additional questions?
I see a question. Go ahead. Hey, I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
Oops, hold on, let me,
Hello? You
You have the
there?
volume up. Try again.
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, you can type. Oh, there you go.
Volume 60.
Volume 79.
Hello?
Go
all
ahead.
right.
So, with the solar thing, because I'm actually going to do it myself, I'm doing a lot of research on it. So maybe you guys kind of want to look into it. You know, where are they made? What brand they are? They do degrade, but like not much. You know what I mean? It's usually like 1, 2, 3, 5%. So let's say from 40 years, and you're still getting like 80%. You know what I mean? That's still good. You add a couple more panels and upgrade. What you want to look into is where are they made? Are they made in China? Are they made in Canada? Because there's quite a few companies that are actually, Canada actually makes a lot of really good ones. I forgot the company name, but they are made for Canada, as in, you know, the harsh winters that we have. But the Canadian company, you could look it up, has a plant in the United States and in Canada, so it avoids the tariffs. Something you guys want to look into. You know what I mean? I would shop around as well before you make a decision. Just, you know, you want the best bang for your buck, not just one company. Just kind of my 2 cents.
Thanks.
So this was, the result of a full bid process. We did address questions from other, solar companies. This is the one and only. And it is, it's the only one that responded. It is the, a local company that some of us do have, some people locally have experience with. That's true. Other questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the bid for the Renovis project that is fully funded by grants that we've received through the Sustainability Committee?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed?
Me.
All right, motion carries. That is the end of solar installation. I don't have anything new with the assessor's agreement with the county. However, having briefly conversed with the county, with our assessor today, because of delays from their office receiving and applying for the 2027 or 2026 reassessment, New York State has told the county that our assessment needs to be pushed off another year because the county failed to take the necessary steps at the beginning of the year to initiate it so that we would be fully reassessed to 2026. It means that this is going to be a larger and more complicated project than it already is because we have fallen so far below the 100% assessment. We are at approximately 70% now. Another year out, it's going to fall further. So, but if the state's saying hold off a year, we don't really have much at this point in time that we can do to get it rolling in time for 2026. That's my update for the assessor's office.
Fall of 2027.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate because reassessment is much, it's a pain. It does spread the taxing around more equally, and now it's being pushed off, and everybody's assessment's going to fall. It also has potential short-term impact on our share of the county sales tax. But We are working on it with the assessor's office, and hopefully things will move forward, and this will take place in 2027 as needed. Gonna move on to you, Scott, highway.
We're still on roadsides. We're finishing up ditches and on Shumway Road. We finished them, we're putting stone in them now. Yeah, that should be done tomorrow. We're back making gravel. We still have 3 roads we at least want to gravel this fall. Finished ditching and did driveway pipes on Lake Street, hoping that we'd have it done before they paved, but now they're shaky on whether they're gonna get it this year. We gravelled part of Seneca Road, rolled it in, had a lot of cobble sticking through. We're still working on fall grading, put shoulders on Mecklenburg, clean the sediment traps on Middle Road this month. And last week our excavator started blowing oil out of the breather tube. I called Monroe Tractor. They want $8,200 for a long block motor with a 2-year warranty. I know it seems like a lot of money, but the excavator's more money yet.
I think this is something that we do have
Yes.
on for the new excavator. I think we can discuss this more at length with highway committee on Thursday.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring it to your
No,
attention.
I appreciate that because I think
the Doosan's got an axle seal leaking, crunching and grinding, but that poor little backhoe's the one put in right this minute. I hope you don't need it.
we have the highway inventory.
We have the highway inventory.
Yes, you gave it to me.
I don't have the highway inventory.
Almost. I should have got up.
Can I ask a question about stadium stuff?
Yes, yeah.
You think you get down there, you better be.
Scott, Rebecca has a question about paving.
Yeah, so, you don't think Valori's will get paid this year? Or wasn't
If
it
they don't do
3,000
it by the
Mecklenburg?
30th, I'm not gonna do it. I don't have time to get shoulders on it. I mean, by the
Will they
30th.
be able to do it if it's chilly? I mean, if it's temperature make.
If it's not froze, it should be.
No, it makes a difference.
Last year, we quit 1st October. This year, they were supposed to do it 1st October, but.
Right,
they
why
got-
did you quit 1st of October last year? I mean, was it?
Because it's late in the
Was it
season.
the weather? Yeah, now that's where we are now. I'm just trying to clarify, because I don't know how it works very well, so that you got Mecklenburg done and
They were 2 different pieces, 2 different people. Both.
contractors.
Yes.
Yeah, and Valois was on the list, and there was a 3rd town, right? You were there was a 3rd town you were hoping to do?
No, we also, a part of Belois is we are hoping to do Rose Lane and then the tunnel, get it cleaned out.
Remember that.
And
So
San Luis.
Those are also on hold if the weather cooperates.
They were gonna do spot paving in October.
The contractors.
Afterwards, and then they were gonna come back for the tunnel and the stage road. I told them if they couldn't do Belois by the 30th, they weren't gonna do it, just scratch it. But no matter what time they got it, I would really like them to do that tunnel. We put more money in patching that tunnel. You probably ought to measure it, because it might not be 11.2 anymore. We can grind it. Yeah.
Okay.
Measure it out.
Yeah, just clarifying that.
If it doesn't get paved this season, we'll have the money that'll roll over and it'll be done next year. But I'm with Scott that getting that tunnel paved is a priority because the highway crew spends entirely too much time over there fixing potholes. And
They just don't seem to last.
no, and I, there are certain people I talk to almost on a weekly basis about them.
Maybe you could get a tentative date when we're gonna try to do it, and we can discuss it Thursday in highway.
I already give you that tentative date.
Well, it's called again. Every day changes in everybody's world.
And it rained the last couple of days, so
Yes.
it probably went the other way.
Probably, that, we still have the tentative date.
That you don't want to be falling off shoulder material where it percent.
And has the road because it hasn't had time to settle.
Yeah, you don't want it to be done if it's not being done. Well,
All right, the inventory. We have to, you have submitted it to the county?
I have, but we didn't go through it, I should have brought mine, it was all marked.
what's condition F mean?
There.
There.
Throw that there.
Out of here.
Maybe.
Anything you have specific to share in this?
We have boxes on here that are scrap sitting up back. I don't know why when we replace them, why you have to add them as, if you're replacing them, they're garbage. Why would you keep them as, they come with a truck. You take the bad one off, you take the scrap yard and put a new one on.
Okay, which number item are those, and we can move to declare them as surplus and scrap them?
Did you get this from the county? All right.
No,
so-
you handed me this.
All right, that's fine, that's fine. Man, I don't know a lot. 113, we do not own anymore, don't even need to be on there. Right, 6110M, no, we have a 6110M, forget it. 350, so. I had these all marked out.
All right, let's bring this to the highway committee on Thursday.
Yeah.
We'll mark clearly what we want to declare as surplus, and then the next board meeting, we can.
I have it marked on mine in the thing, I guess I forgot we were doing this today. Or I misinterpreted it.
That's okay, we can.
I assume, now maybe that's my fault, I assume, because you gave it to me, that it was right at the company board, so maybe that's my fault, it's too soon.
Okay.
I
Move on.
got big shoulders, Steve.
The next item that we'll move on to, like I said, Scott, we can review this and we can get a list together.
Well, I have the other one over across that I marked, highlighted, but this one here,
You can keep that one and compare the two.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Mr. Poirier,
Scott, are you aware that, the beavers have dammed up at the end of Chuba Road again?
I am very well aware.
You have about 1.5 feet to the top of the sluice pipe now.
The only good thing is they haven't dammed the sluice pipe, they dammed below. the
No, I
pipe.
mean.
They have, but the problem is they keep going lower and it's way off our right of way and Mr. Morley don't want us to kill the beavers. If you could find.
yeah, when we
Some-
discussed it this past week, and he was working on, coming up with a plan with DEC because it's off of our right of
DEC
way.
never called me back, but
I mean, I can understand, but, when you get a big rain and,
It's gonna be,
washed out.
it's gonna be a significant
I'm
problem.
gonna sit on my knees and I'm gonna pray that it don't hold.
I do have a small backhoe like that Scott down there, I can reach out maybe 10 feet.
Would you like a coffee? Some donuts? I'll supply them.
Okay, the next item on the agenda, we've been discussing concerns about the town's excavators for a few months. And, as it was brought up, a new excavator is very expensive. And, working through multiple options, Scott has found us a new Case CX190E. Fortunately, it is a pre-tariff piece of equipment, so it's a very, for an excavator, it's a very reasonable price. The price is $226,354.20. However, that is a significant portion, or would be a significant portion of our CHIPS budget that should be going toward resurfacing roads. And so the highway committee and myself, we feel a 5-year, it's called a lease agreement, a municipal lease agreement. It's a 5-year purchase. It's basically we'll finance it. It is 5% interest over for 5 years with one annual payment. So here are the details on it and the repayment schedule.
This is the lease to buy.
This is the lease to buy. I'm not sure why they call it a lease, but they call it a municipal lease.
Is it through the supplier of the equipment, or is there an outside group that does the lease?
All the leases are outside.
Yeah. Leasing Service Center, it's this NCL Government Capital.
Mhm.
We
I was
looked
just
at,
asking for the public.
we looked at several leasing companies as well as bonding for it. This is, I feel, a cleaner, more direct.
So all this group does is lease to own with municipalities.
Yeah, municipalities is actually lease to own. They don't have a regular, because that's what I looked into first. Maybe we put a newer machine if we just leased and turned it in.
Mm-hmm.
Municipalities can't lease. It's a lease to own. You own it at the end.
Those are Catherine or something like that.
They probably own it at the end.
And there is also, if we so desired, there are purchase options after each of the first 3 payments. It's a 4-year lease. I think I said that wrong at first. I think I said a 5-year, but it's a 4-year lease. So if we chose to change our mind and just pay it off, we're able to do that after the first year.
What year is this machine?
It is a 2025.
It's actually sitting on a lot right now with our name on it, Hector said.
Any guarantees or warranties for that?
Oh, this has quite a bit of these new pieces of equipment, especially the case ones, come with a very strong warranty, and they do the initial servicing on it. The machine reaches out to them and tells them it's time, and they come here and service it on site. Anything else you want to add to that, Scott? I think this is particularly pertinent since our current one is out of action.
The current one's out of action and the other one's on borrowed time.
Sure. Not a shared estimate.
Yeah, that the broken excavator is technically shared services between us and the county.
Yep.
This would be 100%.
Yeah, do we usually need 2 excavators, or is
I
this?
need 4.
Oh,
I also need 10 more guys.
got it.
If we're on the wish list, I can keep them busy with no problem.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion that we approve the equipment lease agreement from the leasing center DBA NCL Government Capital for the town of Hector for the Case CX 190E STD LC excavators.
I'll second.
You need the price in there, James?
No, because it's a lease.
Well, we can,
This does want a $500
Yeah, the one-time documentation processing fee of $500 and the amount to be financed is $226,354.20. Can't forget the last 20 cents.
226 what?
354.20.
That's a
An
one-year
annual payment, right?
Once a year payment, of $65,308 for 4 of those.
Any other questions?
Any other questions, comments?
Aye.
Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? We'll start this Thursday and hopefully we can get this piece of equipment here in the next week or so.
The price of one with a tariff on it, if you had to buy one with a tariff on it, was considerably higher.
And it was a smaller piece of equipment.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was more and it was a 75, I believe. This is a 190. So if you had 190 for the tariff on it, it'd probably really be scary.
Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
Next item on the agenda is Water District.
Alrighty. So for the month of September, we pumped 4.8 million gallons of water, an average of 154,839 gallons daily. Water testing is all current. Sample draws are up to date. Monthly reports are sent out to DOH and DC. DMR reports sent out. Water service turn on and off is 4 off for the seasonals. Backup generators are all in good working order. Water treatment plant compressors are still one down. I emailed the company, they should be getting a hold of me to set up time to repair the one. The pulse unit is in good working order. That's our filtration. Service trucks are both up to date and everything. I gotta get the other truck down there, the Founders tomorrow, and get that all taken care of and inspected. Meter reading system is still having some hiccups. Gotta take care of a couple of the repeaters. Lead and copper samples, we do have one more set to send out before the end of the month, or before the end of the year. And well project, so waiting to hear from Department of Health. Leaks had a water main break while I was away at school on CR2, just west of Vassar above Williams. I left school early to take care of that, and got finished up with that about 9:30 at night. And things to help from both water department and the highway department. Tender and loader deployment gravel, so it'll get back until the end of the night. And just as far as the new taps, it's just the one online for us, which is working on getting out of the water district. And I completed my training at school, got my 2A certificate.
Congratulations. Well done.
And the Department of Health will finalize that for the first week of November.
With that being said, I would like to make a resolution to appoint Jeremy Brown as our Assistant Superintendent of Water, effective 10/9.
Thought he already was.
No,
He did not have the title.
He was laborer.
He could not have the title.
Well, we all thought it.
And further, I'd like to resolve to authorize $1 per hour pay increase through the balance of this year, as is standard practice when the water operators pass new tests that they haven't been awarded of before.
I'll second that.
Any further questions? I know it's being made official by Department of Health on November 1st, but Civil Services said that what you have already is enough to appoint you. So that's why I wanted to go ahead, since you have been filling these shoes since Josh has been out sick. Yeah. So I want to recognize you for all the hard work that you've done and make sure that we can move forward with this as quickly as possible.
Appreciate that.
Any
Well done.
other questions or comments?
Do we have to do anything with the Leidenfrost water?
Well, that's next up.
I don't think, did we vote? I don't think we voted.
We haven't voted yet.
Oh.
So, All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
And again, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you, good work. Thank you for your hard work. All right, we have a request for water district extension. And we have some family members and contractor working on this in the audience, and if you'd like to make your request known.
I have some documentation that I can have copies of.
Yeah, bring it up.
This is the Goodwin's new home I had in Sliding Cross Road. This is Barbara Goodwin. This is kind of the scenario details on what has occurred.
You can pass it down if you want.
Okay, and we have run into an issue, and there was some miscommunication, I guess, about the property being in the water district. It was our understanding that it was, and subsequent to a lot of other things, it has been discovered that it's not in the water district. So we are, I don't know, I guess we're 80% finished with the house. And we have no means of getting water. We did initially, 6 months ago, test for a well, and we're told by the well drilling service that the historical data in that area is very poor for getting water. So we chose to go with the town water, which we assumed was good. We talked to Josh, talked to Jeremy, talked to a lot of different people and got it going. There was an easement that needed to be taken care of. Rob Halpin represented both Barbara and the Dalrymples for an easement that goes all the way up to 414. This is about halfway down Adams Sliding Cross Road. So that was agreed upon. Fees were paid. We do have that easement, which is part of that package. We also applied for a permit and an application which we paid for, got that copy of it in that package as well. So just this last month, with the problems that the water department's been having, scheduling was a big problem, and Jeremy was a little overwhelmed. So we finally got a tentative date towards the end of September. We come to find out a couple of weeks ago, we found out that the property was in fact not in the water district. So we talked to Justin quite a bit, and this is the process that we have to go through as outlined by Justin, which is a fairly lengthy process, but one that is by code or by law apparently necessary. So our request is to get this going as soon as possible. There's I believe a 30-day period when they need to advertise it, and then a couple of other periods following that.
So we'll have to, well, there's a long drawn out process. We'll have to set a public hearing if we approve this moving forward. However, discussing this with one of the items is we have to have to extend the water district, we have a engineered map that includes the new extension, etc. The engineer reached out to me and asked about the possibility of an out-of-district water user agreement, because I guess in small instances like this, they're fairly straightforward and fairly common. We used to have those, and they were all forced to roll into the water district at the time of the last extension or the last water project. However, according to the attorney for the town, they are fully legal in cases like this. It is an out-of-district water user agreement. I have a copy of the agreement that the town of Ulysses currently uses. And this is an option that the town can pursue because it's a single adjacent parcel. So we're not creating an entire new water district with 30 members or something like this.
Sorry, can you just back up for 1 second? Because this is the first part of this. Where does the water district currently go? I see this map, but it's not clear to me from the map.
Currently, about 50 feet from 414 on this 8.1 acres.
And these three parcels are owned by three different owners? Are these six highlighted parcels? Can you just say a little bit more about that? Again, it's the first time.
Yours is the 5826, correct?
56, 26.
Oh, 56, sorry. It's the middle parcel is.
Okay,
This parcel is parcel off from the parcel that's above it, that it's on 414.
so this parcel, it was initially part of this parcel.
Oh, correct.
And then it's been divided off.
It
Is
was
this
divided.
parcel in the water district? Again, this is the first time I'm hearing it, so just don't, just
Yes,
trying to
it is part of
understand
the water
situation.
district.
So that water district apparently extends all the way down to Barbara's property, but it doesn't extend past it, which would be her property. So it's not as though we're skipping around, going into different actions.
And is there currently a house on this parcel?
Which one?
In this parcel here?
There's,
No, it's vines.
Okay,
no, it's a vineyard on top.
Uh-huh,
Then about
okay.
halfway down, the house is being constructed.
Okay.
And Liz, Jane can fill you in additionally.
Give me a minute.
Yeah, again, just trying to catch up. No,
Yeah.
you know, I just don't know the situation.
Yeah, but I can answer like multiple parts of your questions.
Do it.
If
Love
I
it.
can just speak first. I kind of got asked late in the game as to whether this parcel was in the water district or not. Otherwise, right from the get-go, I would have said it's not in the water district. It's never been in the water district. It's never been charged water district taxes. When we did the extension in 2006 and 2007, all of the parcels that had the original water district only ran 500 feet, plus or minus of Route 414.
On either side.
On either side.
Okay.
So if you had, like this parcel that's 8.1 acres, that water district did not go all the way to the Goodwin's property line. It would have gone only 500 feet from,
And then it would have been the house's responsibility to have a pit or whatever it's called.
well,
and pump
the
to their
water,
house.
you couldn't get water past that 500 feet. At that point, unless we did an outside user agreement, if there were something built outside of that 500 feet. So, because I went all the way back to 2006 and 7 when we did the last extension. And when we did that extension, the health department recommended if you're going to do it, then take the entire parcel that butts your 414 where, so like you had only part of the parcel in the water district, it put the whole parcel in the water district, but that still did not get to the Goodwin's property. Because when this split was done long before that 2006 or 2007 time period, that's the farthest I could go back on the tax roll, and it wasn't a separate parcel. It was a separate parcel at that 2006, 2007 timeframe, so it was that, if it was split off of Dalrymple's piece, it was split off long before our last extension, and that's right, and so it never was in the water district at all. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I did several hours of research to find this all out, knowing we'd be heading to
And I see
them
that
coming
there's
here,
a
so.
date on those three parcels that the new house is in the middle of, they were originally one parcel. The vineyard, the new house, and then the 12.2 acres.
No, but not, yeah, but back in the 1980s.
Okay.
They've been split off long.
And it says 2007 through 2020 on here. I'm just trying to understand this map.
That's
all the information that's contained in.
That's the information I could find on what is on the tax roll, that parcel that is down on 8.10 acres. I don't have any information prior to 2007 as to what was there. So the whole entire time, 2007 to 2020, it was 12.2 acres. So, but what he split off was up at the road. He split something off, side by side on 414. He didn't split off down below that. So,
And in just in understanding this map, I see three other small parcels that are to the south of Adams Lead and Frost Road that are also in a lighter color, and I'm just curious the reason that those are in
the lighter color only shows what I was able to pull up.
It only
So that has
shows
no
what I
rele-
was focusing on that map.
Okay, so it's no relevance to what we're talking about.
No,
Okay.
it just was showing, all of the parcels that were, 7.00-5-5, which probably
Initially, they were all one parcel.
initially, yeah. But here's the problem with that is it didn't used to be 7.00-5. It was 7.00-1 and a whole bunch of other numbers behind on from them. And all of these tax ID numbers were changed about 5 years ago.
Okay.
So
the problem is,
that's my problem in trying to get back further in my tax collection records to figure out that. But the one that is the good one's current one has never been charged with any water taxes. It's
Okay.
never been in.
so to summarize, we have a 75% completed house that now we know is not in the water district, but is immediately adjacent to land that would be eligible for the water district. So Justin, you were saying our options are
We can go a
expand the.
full blown,
Mhm.
which is 4 months,
Mhm.
because there's 2 public hearings.
But that's generally what we do when we're adding several parties that want water versus like just, so you're saying there's an alternative for a single user out of this district.
The single user out of district water agreement.
Mhm.
And this would draw up a legally binding agreement that would say that the user would have to pay the water rate, the EDU, the repair reserve. Basically, you're in the water district, you're paying all the rates, you're subject to rate increases, as are the rest of the residents in the water district. You're agreeing to basically pay your water bill, and it's a separate agreement with the town versus going through the process of, let's say, 5 years from now, we were to introduce water through all of Adams Line Trust, then we would roll this parcel into the water district extension. But going through the extension process is lengthy. It's considerably more expensive for all parties.
Did you say in the past we had several other users using that, but then when we made the new water district, they were all rolled
The
in?
health department pushed us into rolling all of those outside users when we did that, so the loop that went up and around. When we did that loop up into Logan and back, the health department said, as long as you're doing that, bring everybody else that's an outside user into the system. So that's what did in that 2006, 2007 timeframe.
So what's the process if we're going to use a single user water district? How do we move forward on that? Since that's the first I've.
If we do an out of district water user agreement, we modify this agreement. I brought in a draft that the attorney happened to have on file for the town of Ulysses. And county Ulysses uses, which you don't have, which I'd be happy to share with each of you. We would have it modified to meet their requirements and make sure that it covers all of the financial obligations that are required of them. And then we as a board would authorize it.
And you have to come up with a rate that would include the value of the EDU.
Yep.
Because you can't charge the EDU on the tax bill because they're out of district user.
Can you tell me EDU?
It's equivalent dwelling unit. It's the amount that goes on the tax bill that actually pays for the financing of the entire, of the rest of the
tax bill to get.
Yes, it would be directly through
Okay.
that. You'd be paying this if you were in the water district, you'd be paying it.
In a different way.
This is all gonna be an independent agreement so that you can have water without going through the process.
Just a clarification, I believe the town of Ulysses charges a different rate for out of district. So you were saying that it would be the same.
Well,
rate.
I mean, we have to determine that.
Okay.
We could choose an alternate rate. We could choose it based on plus a couple percentage. We could go the same exact amount. We have those options.
Sort of
But-
seems like if it's got the EDU rolled into it, it's automatically a different rate because the EDU is included versus everyone else's EDU is on a different, on a different bill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what makes it a different rate, because it includes the EDU in it. I mean, maybe you're charging more, but I think just by including it, it's different.
I worry in the future, is it gonna be one single hookup? Or somebody, we get the line runs and.
Well, at this point in time, they are responsible for the cost of the line, and they are responsible for maintaining that line after the meter pit. So if, I mean, like I said, if we were to move forward at some point in the future and expand the district to include that entire road, then we would do a proper water district extension.
Yeah, but if it doesn't expand the district and their neighbor builds a house and they have water and they let their neighbor get water from their line, will it be legal or not legal, or can we do it?
We can probably write that into the, make sure it's written into the agreement that no, they're single
house user agreement, not turned into multiple house.
Yeah, they can't create their own water district.
Which is not our intention.
It was no.
That's a worthwhile question. I think that's
to get it, but
right, yeah.
now we're out of numbers down there, right? And that was nobody's intention either.
Right.
Yeah, no, if anybody looked at this, this is a great example of how many different sections of Adams Life across the.
And I know how the water district used to be is, right, I was at a district user and I don't want to pay my water bill, but I let my neighbor use my water.
Yeah, I think that would be an important thing to draw into the agreement.
So, what's the process for doing this? I mean, we just basically, I guess my question is, this sounds like a reasonable way to move forward. How do we move forward?
Agreement.
Yeah, we agree tonight, and I go back to the attorney tomorrow and say, please draft this up. Here are our concerns, make sure that it's designed as a single use agreement that they can't unilaterally add to it. We need to figure out the rate structure, which would be, in my mind, water usage plus repair reserve plus the EDU.
The repair reserve would fall in line with the actual meter reading.
Right.
So that the repair reserve is automatically built into the bill based on, you have your basic bi-monthly bill, and then you have your reserve funds. It's based on the actual consumption that goes through the meter.
On the south side of the, I assume it's on the south side of the road, the 705-52 and 5-51.
Yep.
Are there houses on those?
No, they're not.
They're vacant?
No, but they have been clearing a lot at 5.1, so those have both sold
Are they in the
last
water
5
district?
years, so they're most likely gonna get built on.
Are they in the water district?
I have to look them up.
Somebody should probably tell the owners of the properties before they get.
I do not know. I have to do research and look them up because I really don't know.
She just said it almost went to the end of the first lot with 500 feet, but.
Well, it depends. Back when we did that extension, it depends if the parcel up to 414 was deeper than 500 feet.
They don't reach
Or
14.
so if the parcel was deeper than 500 feet, the whole parcel would have been in the water district. So when you get past that 500 feet, that's why that Dalrymple piece, the whole parcel isn't now in the water district when we did the extension. So it cut off at 500 feet for the water district before. When we did the extension, that additional footage past 500 feet was added into the water district.
So currently that entire parcel is in.
The Dalrymple, the entire parcel is in the water
So
district.
The water district does come down to their property line at this point.
Yes, but it doesn't allow
Right.
the outside one to just automatically be in it. That's where
That's my
stuck.
thought is the 2 lots across the road, you guys will run your water line down the edge of the road and they're gonna say there's water right there. Why can't I hook up to it? You gave water to them.
Because it's a private line down to there based on this user agreement. But I don't know if those other two, I mean, it depends when they might have split.
I don't know either.
That takes research to find out when they split.
Not sure what the cost difference would be, but what if you did this? but still maintain a process of having the extension of the water district, but this way you can have, get water.
Start now, Andy.
Yeah, that was a point that I wanted to make because it's such a lengthy process and it has to, for the extension, it has to begin today or tonight. Otherwise, you'd have to wait another 30 days to do that. So with this separate agreement, if there's some problem with it in the near future, I think it would be best, if possible, to start the process of extending the water district at this time.
Well, they conflict each other.
They do to some degree, and the other thing is there are expenses that I'm sure you don't want to incur if, for example, all expenses incurred by the town for the professional engineers to prepare the maps, et cetera, are passed on to the new water district.
I guess the question would be, just as an estimate, how long it would take for the other agreement to be put into place?
I mean, this we could, if we agree upon this, we could pass this. This doesn't require public hearing. We could pass this in one of the next couple of budget hearings. We could
get an agreement.
As long as it takes to write up the agreement.
Yeah, we could have this.
But otherwise, we're 30 days out to start the other process again, unless we did it today. And then we could stop the process in the event that this agreement was put into place. And I can't speak for Barbara, but I assume that given the circumstances that we're in right now, getting into the winter with no water and no heat, she probably won't have a few extra dollars to put that into place for the motion today.
Yes, and if you're saying that hypothetically, you're all in agreement that we could do this outside source,
Single user water district.
then, and it could get done pretty quickly within a week, 2 weeks, however long it takes to get the drawn up. Is there any reason to think that wouldn't happen?
We need to vote on it. I'm a lot more comfortable with the single use than I am extending the water district personally.
Yeah, we pass it as a board resolution. I can initiate the conversation with the attorney tomorrow. It's a matter of making sure the appropriate wording is in there so that you can't extend on your own, and the appropriate legal fees to cover billing and expenses for the water.
So the board and the contractor is comfortable that this is a accepted approach? And
The legal engineer and the attorney both discussed it with me.
Okay, and they've agreed that this is
This is the first the board has heard about it, so.
Yes, this has happened since we talked. I said I had something that I was researching when we've been talking on the telephone over the past week.
Right.
But this is the first the board has heard of it because it's the first we've been in session since this has been presented to me.
My only concern is if something doesn't work with this agreement, now we're 30 days even farther down the road, and that's gonna put us past the winter.
But I don't think that you're gonna wanna carry the cost of being a water district extension by yourself. It would be quite expensive.
It's quite expensive. And we're only talking 2 or 3, maybe 3 weeks, and we could cancel that.
Yeah, we mean.
But if we start it, we have to commit, we have to commit to an engineer, which we have billings from the engineer that's gonna.
And the last water district expansion that we tried to do was too expensive, and the town spent thousands of dollars, and then the residents were not able to sustain the amount. I mean, I would not be in favor of moving forward for a water district expansion for one house, myself personally, especially if our attorney is telling us this is a viable way to do it. I just know we lost a lot of money last time we looked into a water district expansion. The town spent, I don't know, $8,000 or $12,000, and we're not able to do it.
COVID come along, it just got too long, and we had to go back and start over again. That's really what happened.
No, but the number was too high.
That was
Liz,
that was specifically for like an entire
road.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is even. I mean, this looks like the start of a road. Would be wanting to ask, but to start that process, don't a certain number of people who live on the road have to request water? I mean, that's the start of the process for a water district expansion. So I think it's just a bigger thing than you can really. You'd be starting a very big process for the board when I just don't. It seems like this is the most viable alternative, especially.
It's definitely the most viable.
And there is language in Ulysses about if we were to do an extension of the water district along Leidenfrost Road, that it would be, you would be absorbed into it and it wouldn't be this special arrangement that we're talking about. And in that agreement, which we're talking about basing off of. Yeah, I'm with Liz on this one where I think a single use, and I'm all for it to put it in motion quickly, but I'm a little hesitant to open up a can of worms of expanding the water district and kind of doing both in parallel. I think it will be a lot of extra cost for you.
Before we get it lost.
It doesn't sound like it's not as simple as let's start a process on the water district and then just cancel it because we changed our minds.
And we're having to hire a
real.
I mean, the last one, my recollection, it was $8,000 or $12,000.
Yeah.
And that was for a road full of people. I mean,
I was gonna say $4,000 to $6,000.
Right, there was like
Well, it came out
26
to
people on this, for that
be,
self
yeah, but it came out to be like $900 or $1,000 each cost, and the state said that's too big, too much.
When would that,
Individual
when
cost.
would that cost be committed? It's my understanding that there's a 30-day period initially.
Well, there's the initial 30-day period because we have to bring it to municipal referendum. We have to have a public hearing, et cetera. I mean,
So there's,
if this is, I mean, this is an active one. This is one that the town of Ulysses currently uses. If we can modify it to meet your terms, we can have this done.
be done probably within a couple
Well,
of
certainly
weeks.
is the best option for the good ones.
Yeah.
And if you can approve that, that would be great. All right.
Do we need a motion?
Yeah, let's do a motion to
Yes,
make
you
it
need a
formal.
motion to proceed with that.
So I would make the motion to, for out of district water user agreement
To be prepared by
by
the attorney for the town.
the town attorney with the caveat that it's a one-use hookup. I don't know if the right language should be for the can't be
And
extended to
prepared.
multiple users.
And to be prepared to cover standard water billing, including the EDU.
Yes.
All right, wait a minute, authorized to prepare. User, numbers. There's 5
While she's preparing that, I just want to thank everybody we're excited about moving up to Hector. We've been living in Watkins Glen after we bought that property many, many years ago, and we hope to be good neighbors.
So welcome to Hector, how exciting.
Hey, we all heard it here.
Pie.
A big vote.
I think you're gonna need to set the rate, including the EDU, by a separate resolution once you get this agreement together.
This is just
Okay.
going forward.
But this is just going
Draw up the
forward with
agreement.
drawing up this user agreement because once Attorney Halpin gets this agreement put together, it needs to be sent to the good ones so that they can look it over and, have legal counsel look at it if they want. That's totally up to you. So that we can then proceed, but it's an option I think you guys can move quickly on.
Is that fair?
You call.
All right, yeah, we have a first.
I'll second.
Well, we have a first and a second. Any further questions or comments?
Are we gonna get Rob the rate so we can put him in the contract?
That's my plan.
Okay.
So there's no further questions. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
You will let them, or they will know when they get in contact.
Yeah, I've been in touch with him on a regular basis.
You need my address.
Sure.
We got it right here.
Actually, it's on the form, yeah.
Well, we've got your emails, so that's probably the best way to.
We got more information on you.
Yeah, we have phone number and email.
Tax ID number.
All right.
Bill, give me a call.
That's for you. You're all right.
Is that for water?
That is it for water.
that all you got for
Is
water?
that it? Jeremy, you been here an hour.
Tell us your test scores. I heard you did well.
Thanks.
Well
Yeah.
done. All right.
Karen,
They
I
drilled
had an
it deep
extra
for
one.
like 2 weeks.
Oh, thank
I
you.
mean,
It was just I had it and I was like, well, make sure.
it was definitely an adjustment the first couple of days.
You guys already have
sitting
one.
in the classroom.
You set up that water because you could leave.
Yeah. No, that was not a fun one.
Yeah.
That was, it's the second one we've had both part at a fusion joint.
Wow. It doesn't seem like they should do that. I mean, just based on it being called a fusion joint.
Well, supposedly it's stronger where it's fused together.
Yeah. Huh.
Maybe we need to check for line hammer.
Well, I think the issue is that's the main line going up to Logan Tower. And one thing I learned at school is elevation valves, which are a little bit different than some of our PRV valves, is you can bump up through and it's still, you know, like a butterfly valve.
Through like a one way.
Yeah,
Huh.
and I don't know why that was designed to not have them. I mean, past the road, you get PRV pits there. And then over on Sarah Hill Road, you have them, but not on County 2, which the only thing I could think of is the extra cost of those special valves. I'm sure one of those valves probably around anywhere from 40 to 70 grand.
That'd be grand.
Yeah, you probably, for installation of a PRV pit like that, you're probably looking at around 100,000.
Wow.
But
It's not a thing you guys can put in yourself. I mean, the valves themselves are that expensive.
The duct valves themselves, like our pancake ones and like our 414 and stuff like that, those are around 25, 35 to replace.
Wow. 1,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, but the main issue I'm worried about on County 2 is for anywhere so high pressure in the system is us working. You know, if that, you know, you unearth it and all of a sudden it does come apart completely. Obviously, we do gauge it down as we get close. But if you got a pinhole 180 PSI, it'll crush you.
Wow.
I mean, I had to gauge it down almost completely and, you know, getting close to it. And they did actually have pressure running on the T going to the fire hydrant because for this, you have your T going to your fire hydrant, then you got a fusion joint on each side. So you got about 6 inches from the coupler where it's bolted together for the fire hydrant. So where the plastic weld was, it blew out the top. And it was pushing at an angle like this. So I had it gated down, not completely shut off. And reaching down in there, just trying to find the water main in my hand, like the ends of my fingers are stinging. And that was almost gated completely off. Yeah. So
I imagine there's a lot of pressure there.
yeah, that's
The
about
elevation.
180 PSI.
Wow.
I'm sure you had your protective gloves on.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Let's move on to Smith Park.
Okay, we had our second volunteer day. We did some work in the flower beds around the office. We did plant some tulip bulbs in the little flower bed at the top of on Smith Park Road. So hopefully those will come in nice next year. Our shed for our swim beach was delivered. So we have that. One thing I forgot to add was we also did get a shipment of 10 kayaks that were donated. That includes 2 canoes and also a rack.
Wow.
That was a pretty big.
And life jacket.
And life jackets and paddles and things like that as well.
For public use.
We're working on that.
But ultimately, yes, it'll be
Yes.
for public use.
Yep.
And can residents use the raft with their kayaks on?
It's full.
Yeah.
I thought I saw a couple of spots in the spot. No?
No, we still have to work it out.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I didn't mean to say it's full because no, I just mean, I looked at it and thought it looked full. That's all.
Okay, the campsite RFP, we did get 3 bids for the RFP.
Those get submitted for.
I have them. I have them if you want.
Can you tell us what an RSP is?
Our request for proposal. Yep.
I got 3 back.
So we have to see those.
I was asking if you guys wanted them.
How do we do that? Do we have to wait?
Well, I think you're gonna,
If we're gonna,
you need to look at the numbers.
that's right.
What were the ranges from the lowest to the highest?
This one's 46,200. This one's 51,500.
51,500?
Yep.
Wow.
And the last one.
Finished the last one. You know, it's better. You do.
That's the insurance.
Is $32,016. Sold.
Okay, one issue that we all overlooked in the RFP, we all thought it was there, but it was not, was a breakdown for the cost by project, because each of the RFP has multiple projects, it has what, 6 projects? And we thought we had requested the cost of each project, 5 projects, excuse me. I thought we had requested that, the cost of each project individually, and then a total price, so that we could potentially pick and choose. Unfortunately, that was not in there, so we do not have the prices individually, and I think it would be beneficial to us because all those projects are over the budget we had hoped to spend on this. And most of them are actually, all of them are in bid territory, so we wouldn't be able to move forward as they are.
And this is basically the difference between having an owner do the work versus having staff and prevailing wage. So it's about the same amount of work that we might have gotten for less than half the price.
Can we reach
But
back,
no owner bid on it.
can we reach back out to these people and ask them to break it down?
Yeah, but I'm wondering, do we have to reach back out to all of them? Because I don't think they're gonna love breaking it down, and I feel kind of like we might be wasting some people's time.
Right, but if you had 3 people submit bids, you either have to, or proposals, you either need to request all 3 of them to break it down per site, like your original. The original thing was, other than it didn't ask for a dollar amount for each segment of that. So you would have to ask all 3 of them to break their bid down to the individual sites. Or you re-advertise and start over.
And you really gotta break it, to have them break it down and say they made one or all may be awarded, because it might be a different price if they're bidding on just one section compared to all the sections.
Right.
There's no guarantee that you're gonna get all 5 bids if they break it down.
Right.
So you have to make sure they have it, so it's either gonna be one or all awarded.
I don't really understand that.
They might only get to be one project, and the cost of that project will be a little bit higher if they're only doing one project compared to 5 projects at one time.
You have multiple people doing
Like you'll award site number 1 to this group, site number 3 to this group. Like people might give you different estimates once they've broken down their material and labor for the 6 different projects. Or each
Well, I
6
imagine
different.
their estimate would be different also if they're gonna bring their equipment there and do
That's
5
what Mike was
projects
saying.
versus
That's
one
what I'm
project.
saying, you have to make it clear that way, because
Yeah, so they'll bid high on just to cover that
yeah,
cost.
they'll change, yes. But if you're gonna be fair, you gotta tell them that.
So maybe it's more worth it just to start all over.
Can I ask you a question?
Sir.
Were they given a set of specs, so all 3 contractors were bidding exactly the same thing?
Yes.
Yes, and they did a pre-bid meeting and all 3 contractors were, well, actually, one contractor at the pre-bid meeting did not end up bidding, but another person did.
Or they were just
But there was an opportunity for all of them to be hearing the exact same words, doing the exact same walkthrough. With the same language, they all get the same thing.
Is there else to see them?
Well, I don't really know what to do.
Well, I think we have to go back to and fun or something. I mean, I think we have to cancel this one. It's not gonna be able, it's gonna be unwieldy, but.
Yeah, I think it's
So
gonna
we
be-
can ask, come back and ask them the same thing, but we also have another proposal, a revised one that does have it broken down and start the process again.
What were the bids again?
32.
51, right, was the other.
And 46, yeah. 32, 46, and 51.
Thousand.
Yep.
But it was, how many camp? One,
Five.
five, for, yeah, for five, well, it's more than
It's
that
more than five
campsites, but was
Five
five,
projects.
five projects within the park.
So, I mean, since we already know that the bid's gonna come out more than what we want to spend, I think that we should just take what we have here and figure. When we put out a new RFP, I think it should just, we should take out some of these. So for example, 30, 33, that needs the work, with the tiling and
That has to happen.
that one has to happen, and then we have to decide what other one and just, break this in half, basically. And then maybe, if they still can get in.
Can the park committee meet and prioritize these? And list them as number one is the highest priority?
Yeah.
And kind of figure out that way, because then it might make it easier. But I think your option at this point would be to reject all of the proposals at this time due to cost and re-advertise when you can break it down to prioritize what's most important. Like you're saying, campsite 30 to 33 has the biggest water issue or biggest issues with it, and that one absolutely needs to be done. So, maybe rework the order of the proposal into the most, the most important part that you need to get them.
I think we have to do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
So I would think you wanna
We'll have
just,
to do that.
But if we could do it by our next meeting, we could
Can we
put it
do
out
it?
again.
Right, can
Yes.
we bring this to a budget
Yeah.
meeting?
Yes.
Broken down, okay, then we can speak
We can
on
set
that.
a meeting
Oh,
Thursday.
you're already meeting Thursday, yeah. Tuesday is our next budget meeting, so you guys could, if you could.
We were gonna meet Thursday to go over the rules and regulations, it's just if we went up to that, we could talk about it then.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be there? I think we're meeting at 10 a.m., but we can meet later.
I can't meet at 10. I already have a meeting scheduled. And
Can't
something
meet at noon.
I have another meeting, and I can't meet at 2 because I have another meeting.
Well, do you want us to, I know, that's what we figured, well, we were just gonna do the rules and regulations, so we were like,
Well, if you want to reform, I don't need to be present for you to prioritize.
Okay, well,
Yeah, we could probably do this for that.
Yeah.
somebody needs to make a motion to reject all 3 RFPs and,
So moved.
Second. And direct that park committee to reprioritize and prepare to ask for a second RFP.
yes.
Like she said.
So we have a first and a second. All in favor?
Uh,
Anybody opposed?
Next thing is the RFP for the pole barn.
That's
Well,
not a
RFP,
That's a bid.
RFP, the bid for the pole barn.
Yeah, so, there's no RFP in this whole market, that was a straight bid.
Request for bid.
Not one bid was received, so nothing. not one.
I'm still working
And
on
I
getting
still don't
the
have the
drawing.
drawing,
I'm
but
still
they-
working on that.
But Justin had assured me that the drawing was coming and to go ahead, we held it off a week, put it in the paper a week
Well,
later. But we still did not get any takers on it.
Who are we waiting for?
I can't tell you the person's name off the top of my head.
Rob.
Rob, he said, oh yeah, no problem.
Rob knew.
He's like, no problem, and I sent him the information in the drawing and then followed up.
Why, I'm sorry, why do we need a drawing?
Because the RFP process, anytime you go over 20,000.
30,000.
Bid process.
30,000, okay, so if you go with the New York's 35,000, isn't it? New York State procurement policy, this is the policy set in 1954, I think I read.
Yeah, but they
Anyway, it
bid-
hasn't changed from 35,000 since 1954. But if you go over $35,000, you have to go into this whole other process where you have to have drawings and it's
The
not
bid-
normal.
So we
bid
can't just
process-
say we want a building of this dimension.
No,
We
it needs
actually
to
have to
have.
provide.
You have to have engineered drawings to go with it.
It's really looking out for us anyhow, because you
Yeah.
want people to build the building that we want, not just, well, there's your building, what do you ask for?
It's just hard when you don't have a town engineer.
Don't stand underneath if it rains.
Or the wind blows.
So,
Right.
what do we, I think we need to make a motion.
Well,
or-
Since there wasn't anything, we don't have to make a motion, but I think we need to keep working as a park committee, refining this and chasing down the drawings so we have it in file and we can try again.
Can Jason make the drawings for us?
Jason cannot.
Jason, you do everything.
He's so handy, I just thought I'd ask.
He's learning how to use that little word said N-O.
All right, let's move on to, proposed seasonal transient rates for next year.
I'm sorry, first I'll ask this question. I mean, we obviously had a strong public opinion today about the proposal to do a half split season next year. Is that something that the committee wants to discuss again before we set the rates? Because obviously that'll change the rates that we,
Well, let's
Sorry.
cover the daily rates first.
Okay.
That's
Mhm.
simple. So the current rates you see, $70 for lakefront sites, the daily rates, electronic sites $50, non-electronic 45 or 40 per night. So the park camping, the transient camping's at 30% capacity. And when we looked at it, almost everyone wants the lakefront sites and on the weekend. So we are attempting to attract people to the weekdays. So in Camp Spot, we forgot about the price variance also. Anyway, it's like another step beyond this, but in Camp Spots, we can put it so that it automatically shifts. So if people are coming in Monday through Thursday, they're gonna pay a different rate than if they're coming in Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're also attempting to kind of, there's a wave of, a lot of campers come in Friday evening. So, and that's hard on staff, and it's also hard to staff for just, hey, can you come in for 3 hours on one day a week? So we're just playing with the idea of a $20 variance, so $60 on the weekdays for the lakefront site, $80 on the weekends. And then the holidays go to $85. This is when you actually look at a lot of campgrounds, this is what they're already doing. Because software programs allow you to have that flexibility. So that is the idea for the transient rates. The rate actually is not really changing that much if you average it out. So yeah, that's
Because the weekdays, Monday through Thursday is cheaper.
Sunday through Thursday.
Sunday through
You come
Thursday,
you come
right
in
now
Friday,
it's the same
Saturday.
rate, but it sits empty a lot of times, so our idea or goal was to try to make it a little bit more attractive, maybe we bill, $60 a night better than no dollars a night.
How often are they rented during the week?
30% capacity.
30%?
Well, overall,
Yeah, so, that's a good question. So over the week.
but almost every weekend,
I was just thought if the weekend is is always rented, and then if there's none, very, very little, $60 isn't gonna be enough encouragement, that $10 difference.
$20 difference.
But I mean,
Oh, you're raising.
Yeah, that was,
versus this year.
right,
though.
because we did talk about that, we talked about rate just making a $10 difference. And we're like, I wouldn't change my mind for $10, but it might for $20 if I was coming in for 3 days and 4 days, but I don't know, it may not. It may, I mean.
I tend to agree a little bit with Mike, like if
It needs to
we're,
be more of a difference.
yeah.
Well, it's
I'm not
$20
saying when you,
difference now, so if you block
but
out
it's
the.
$10 difference.
Don't
on
look
what
at the
people-
2025 rates, look at the other.
Block off the 2025 rates, and it's those rates,
But-
so it would be 60 and 80.
But I'm just saying, like, if somebody camped this summer and then they camp next summer, to them, they're like, oh, it's 70, you know, it's
I don't think we can go to 90.
I'm
Even
not
though
suggesting higher rate.
Oh.
I think that Mike is suggesting, and I'm tending to agree that if our capacity during the week is really that low, the 60 is not low enough to really encourage people.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe with your software, it doesn't work, but I don't know. I just was repeating what I heard Mike saying.
I mean, I think it should be at least. You got it down as the lakefront is 60 to 80. I would say the lakefront's gonna have to be 50 if you want people to come, at least 50 to come during the
So $30
Sunday, yeah,
difference.
$30.
I tend to agree, yeah.
I mean, if you want to, because
It's
you're
an
really,
additional
you're not gonna change people's vacation time, you're just gonna encourage people to come during
Yeah.
those off days that are gonna stay someplace else, and I don't know what the rates are around it, but if they're really open now, and nobody's coming, then drop the rate way down and let people come and enjoy the park for a little bit of money, and you will still have somebody to come.
Which is still better than zero.
Right.
I mean, you have to figure in the cost of if they're gonna use the shower and the heat and the water, all that stuff, but $50 should cover that if they're gonna be there for a day.
Now, I guess the question is, are you saying that your software allows you to do this, but won't allow you to do 50 and 80? I mean,
Oh,
No, you do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can do Denny. It
And
doesn't have to
beyond
be
this,
plus minus.
this is what we forgot that I was saying, Mallory forgot about, I can't remember what it's called, but beyond this, the software can actually do, when the park is starting to fill up, the rate goes up. And then with park, so based on reservations, so if that weekend's starting to get full, the rate starts to creep up. It's what airlines do and hotels do. I can't remember what it's called.
Surge pricing.
It's like surge pricing.
It's like surge pricing. I didn't really.
Demand pricing.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
They have a term for it.
Dynamic pricing.
Maybe that's for next year. Maybe that's the next
Yeah,
year.
I just, to me, it felt like a complicated layer, and then having, for Mallory getting questions of like, how much does it cost? And she's like, well, I don't know, it depends on.
I feel like
I
I feel like it'd be helpful to know what the Monday through Thursday, Sunday through Thursday occupancy is currently.
Does Camp Spot keep track of that?
Zero.
Yeah,
Pretty
not
close to
easy,
zero.
yeah. We
Good
could,
enough.
Reservations done.
we could probably figure it out, but it would take some time.
Well, the
They don't
campers who
separate
are
it.
telling us it's.
Yeah, no, it's,
More people in the whole camp last night.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
this season in particular, but yeah, it's really.
In the summer.
In the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only a few other.
Yeah.
So I'd be on board with the 50. I was thinking maybe 30 for the non-electric sites and then 55 on the weekends. And they all
Well,
love
it gets
it.
people in, yeah.
So we
try
could-
a different.
I mean, I'm okay with 50, you just like round.
I don't know, is there a way we can track it in our soft? It would be helpful to be able to measure if it's having an effect. I mean, I guess it's helpful for folks could tell us next summer, there was way more people here.
Well,
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you change something and try it, it's helpful if you can
Well,
know if it helped.
minimally we can see revenue by campsite. So
Okay.
if the revenue does jump up, it would by
That's a measure.
by
But it
you
might
can-
also jump up because you're raising the rates on the weekends.
Well,
Right.
jump up higher if people are coming in during.
Right.
But it has, there's a there's back-end metrics package for Camp Spot. That as an administrator, you can look at,
I can get into
Oh,
the
yeah.
back end, yes.
so you should be able to
Yeah.
find that out without batch
Yeah.
reports.
Gotta think about the future a little bit through this. This coming year could be very different.
financially for a lot of people. And
Although camping is still trending up. It's trending up because it's a cheaper vacation than going to Europe, so it's been trending up since the pandemic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would look in there and see if there's a way to find out the rates or the percentage it's got. Somewhere it's got.
Well, so we already know it's like dead during the week and busy during, I mean, just visually, so what is that gonna really help us?
There's a comment, two comments, and one's regarding the seasonals, and I see your comment, and I'll read it when we get to there. But a comment says, if there's only a 30% capacity with transients on average, why do you want to run full season campers out of the park? I believe that many seasonal campers that like to camp full season, they'll go somewhere else. The idea of camping May to July would be lucky to get 9 out to 10 weeks because the weather in early May. Camping in August and October, it's the same issue for October. Getting too cold the last couple of weeks of October. So, and there's another comment about full season. I thought that comment was a little bit more about the transient, which is what we're talking about. But I see your comment and I will read it when we talk about that. Yeah.
I mean, there's a wait list, isn't that why we talked about this?
There's 30 people on the wait list, this, about a little or half of them were from this year, but on the wait list. When I called around to all the seasonal campgrounds, there was 10 that I called. Every single one had a wait list. Some have a wait list and they're not taking any more people on the wait list. Green Park's wait list
We're moving
was,
away from rates right now because,
oh, okay, sorry.
I mean, we're kind of, we jumped ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
What do we want to do
related to
about
the
the rates?
transients.
Are we supposed to vote on this?
Yeah, we
Well,
will.
we don't have to,
Is it
I mean,
informational?
yeah, we kind of do because, well, see, the thing is that what we're trying to do with the seasonal rates, because the rates were all over the place last year, is we're trying to create a pattern for the seasonal rates. That's
Yeah.
very, it's very much a pattern like we've done with the transient rates already.
So we have a pattern and it's been suggested we change the lower figure, which is highly probable.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see a hand on Zoom. Are you wanting to talk about the transients or the seasonal?
Right now we're talking about the transients.
So right now we're talking about transients, but I see that you have a comment, and if it's about the seasonals, we'll get there in a minute.
Okay.
If it's about the transients, go ahead and pipe up. Okay.
So,
I think it's about the seasonals. So we're talking about the transient rates. And so the question is, should we lower the transient rates during the midweek to try to encourage people to come at that
I think
time?
we should.
yeah.
I agree.
Okay, so what rate do we want to put in and we can vote on that?
So if we did, Mike was suggesting 50 for the lakefront, this is weekday rates.
Yep.
50 for the lakefront, electronic sites. I mean, how far low can you go? 30?
I mean, I feel like that one could stay at 40.
I-
And
Yeah,
non-electric
yeah,
down to
maybe that
30,
stays at
And then
40.
the non-electrics be 30.
50, 40, 30 is what I.
50, 40, 30?
But and then we have the premium non-electric, which is actually the two that are in the front and the two that are in the back. The non-electrics on Forest Ridge are the ones that get booked the most. Pretty steadily, also like the lakefront ones.
But also on just the weekends.
Yes.
So keep the premium one at 30 and the all others that aren't premium, non-electric, 25. Yeah.
Okay.
Not to interrupt, but just wondering, should we have, is it possible to have like blackout weeks or like 4th of July week, or did you guys have?
There's a holiday rate.
I have a holiday rate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Good question. All right, so if we look at all those rates for transient daily rates, are we all comfortable with that and we can vote on it? Okay, all in favor?
Are we doing,
That's
Just the transient daily rates.
This is the
so you're not
Sunday.
gonna, you're not gonna change the weekends or the holidays, so are you going to adopt those
Yes.
weekend and holiday ones with it?
Yes.
So are you doing a resolution then to accept this, what you have just amended, it's the transient rates for
Yes, I am.
weekday, weekend, and holidays?
Holidays, correct.
I second the motion.
I don't know who made it.
I did.
Mike did.
You did, Jane.
Well,
All right.
I sort of just tried to clarify it, that's all.
We have a first and a second. Any further questions on the,
There's.
Liz seconded it. Liz seconded it.
I am, oh, okay, go ahead. John, go ahead. Well,
there's
oh,
one.
sorry, we have to turn you up on this end, hang on.
That's, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, maybe not. Just wondering if you are actively trying to get online reservations, like by using like Airbnb or HipCamp or some of these online camping sites would be very helpful if it was promoted more. I haven't seen it promoted.
It's on HipCamp and it is on CampSpot.
Okay.
Almost the vast majority of our reservations are online.
Okay. I was just thinking that would get more people during the middle of the week.
And
All right.
HipCamp has been very successful with that.
And yeah, so events during the middle of the week too, because a lot of people do come for the wineries during the middle of the week, and having a place for them to sit and have a picnic would be a good idea to get more people in the middle of the week.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Wish there was a mute button on this. You can just go back and forth.
So then I guess the next question is, I have a few we're gonna talk about seasonals.
Where's he finish this?
There's a vote.
Oh, sorry. Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed?
I'll read the comments from here
And what,
first.
are we gonna talk about seasonal rates too?
We're talking about seasonals, but I feel like we can't set the seasonal rate until we talk about if we're gonna do something different. The committee has suggested that we split the season into 2 3-month equal camping slots, May through end of July and August, September, October. And the thought with that is that because we're a municipal campsite, it would give more people a chance to enjoy our park, which was left to us as a gift to the town, and we want to share with as many people as possible. So like a little bit different than like a for-profit campsite, right? I mean, it's not a good summary of why it's been brought to us. But we can see that there's people in the public who have strong feelings about it. And let me read the comments that have come in on Facebook. But I hope that's a summary of what's the situation. Regarding the seasonal spots at Smith Park, we are proud seasonal campers. I'm sorry, this is Ashley and Ron Baldwin. Thanks for commenting. At Smith Park, and this place feels truly like our second home. We waited years on the list for the opportunity to be here, and now to hear that we might lose our seasonal sites for half the summer is heartbreaking. We basically live at the lake in the summer and will now have to move to another campsite if that's the case. I agree with the other camper who asked, where was the survey to hear what the current seasonal campers want? Many of us have been loyal for years, and it seems only fair that our voices be part of this conversation. A fair compromise could be set aside to set aside a few campsites for the proposed 3-month stays, while still allowing long-term seasonal campers to keep their sites. We love Smith Park, the community we've built there, and the memories we continue to make every summer. Glad you guys camped there. Thank you for your comment. Let me read another one here. Sherry was the one who said if there's only 30% capacity, why are we asking people to leave? I had read that one already. And then Sherry also comments, there might be 30 people on the list, but did you tell them it would only be for 3 months? I don't know the answer to that question. So I don't know if somebody does, who said that 30 people are from this year, but do they know that it would maybe only be for half the summer next year?
No.
Okay.
We haven't actually said that's policy yet,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. So what I hear is a lot of strong feelings from the folks who are camping at the site. So I guess I'm curious. I'm not on the Smith Park committee. I understand our goal as a municipality, but I also hear from the people who are using it. So I'm wondering, is there a compromise position?
Well, I guess, I think the thing that has to be figured out is when you have the amount of seasonals that want to be there and you don't have the sites. So the plan has been to make the north side of the park day use, right? So that's been.
Where's the dividing
line? 2019.
Where's the dividing line?
The green, which is the path that goes down.
Okay.
So that means naturally already we're losing sites. So we don't have as many sites on the south, in the park in general. There could, be entertained an idea that eventually in the future, we create more seasonal sites up the hill. However, just seeing how long, some simple little thing takes, like EV chargers or whatever, that's like.
We have to wait for an outside group to give us permission for that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not completely in your control. Versus
Right.
like, but to see how
That was-
expensive it is just to maintain our sites,
Yes.
that's a more direct
Yes.
parallel.
In fact, I mean, it would have been nice if they never made it a campground at all, honestly, because it would have been way easier. We wouldn't have to have the staff. If people could just camp there like they do at DEC property or the National Forest, it would be much easier.
I'm
we
sorry,
have to
Susan.
have a health department and a beach and a-
Okay,
Yeah, anyway, we are where we are.
I think, for me, the important thing is everything that has been said by the seasonals, how they feel, how they love the place, how they love being there, how they've been there so long, how they want to stay there, is the same. It's the same arguments we get from people who don't get a chance to be there. And the fact that we are not a private campground,
But
we
I also.
can't just, I'm not finished.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think we can't just decide what's best for the campground. We have to decide what's best for the community. And we haven't really given that enough of a chance to even try to see if sort of a situation will get more community in. You know, we want to have the north half be the use area because we get a lot of people saying, I can't go down there, there's nothing to do. I go down there, and if I can't swim, there's nothing else to do. Maybe I can rent the pavilion once a year, you know. But it's the thing is, it's just not accessible to enough of the public at this point, and it hasn't ever been the way it's been run. And I feel that we sort of need to make a jump to a very different situation. And yes, there'll probably be people that are on the wait list that don't like to see there and say, fine, I don't want to be on the wait list. But if we'll have less sites, seasonal sites available for the seasons we already have this year. If we split it up, those seasonals will still get some time at the park. And people, I mean, I definitely feel, I can certainly understand how nice it is to pull your camper into a spot and let it sit there for you to come and go when you can, when you want to. But every weekend, transients come in with their campers and they leave with their, I mean, people move around with campers as much as anything.
Been there for 6 years and watching that. And many times, people come and stay. And we have stayed, and there's other people that just there, and then a lot of people just like it for a weekend. It's unfortunate that they have to have their camper there all week, no one else can use the spot, but they're still paying.
I see a comment here, Jana and Mary waited for their chance, and then there were 6 openings at the time to choose from, and why is there a sudden change? And then, does this mean site 12 is not seasonal next year? That's my site. If you split it up, there are only 2 months max that has nice weather. Do you camp there often because there's empty spots all the time? I think, are they asking, I mean, people can come in as transient campers, I mean, right?
Sure, or monthly or weekly.
And then Sherry asks the residents, do they really want to camp? Have they taken advantage of camping even for the couple of weeks at a time? I guess I have a logistical question, which is if we were to have 2 short seasons, that means we have 21, 28 seasonal sites. What is it, 25, 28?
We would have enough for everyone.
Well, that's not my question, but it's a good question. My question is, on July 28th or whatever it is, that means 28 people are moving their campers off and 28 new people are moving their campers on for their August 1st arrival. I'm just asking about the logistics.
There's 21 sites available, so yes, 21.
I'm just asking about the logistics of like the whole campground switching over on one day.
And not one day, it's gonna be like a 3-day turnaround. So, you know, we have to see how it's gonna work. I mean, it's the way it has to happen. We can't, you know, just, the part of the reason for the 3-month, the way we parceled out the 3 months is so the first half of that season, the first 3 months, people get half of June and July, nice summer weather. And then the second half, they get August and half of September, nice summer weather. So they still get some good summer time at the park. They don't, everybody doesn't get the whole summer, they get half of the summer.
And on a busy, especially holiday weekend, we have that kind of turnover on a weekly basis.
21 people coming in now. I'm just asking.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think you're asking good questions. You're saying that, keep in mind that there is that kind of turnover on a busy weekend.
If we keep improving, if we could actually keep improving the sites, it would be easier to get the campers in and out.
That is one of the goals.
Yes.
Somebody asks Jonna and Yuri asked, what if we rotate who gets lakefront? And Sherry says, who is speaking who's not on the screen and what is their position? A park board member? Okay, I'm sorry, it's Jessica Rogers. Who's on
I
that?
gave up because my sound kept on echoing.
Okay, it's Jessica Rogers who's speaking, who's not on screen, and she is on the town board and on the park committee.
So, we can always go back. That's the whole thing. It's with these changes at the park. It can always go back to what we were doing. Another option that got entertained was, you just draw a lottery and the 20 of the 50 some people that want in, the 20 some get in every year. And if you got in last year, you don't get to be in the lottery for the next year, something like that. Just trying to figure out a way how to rotate and allow more people to experience the extended stay.
Because the Smith Park committee's feeling is, as a municipal park, we should let the most people possibly utilize the park. Let me ask this question just because I don't really the park that much. If we have only a 30% occupancy of the transients, what's keeping us from utilizing more of the spots as seasonal spots?
Well, if you look at the occupancy,
We make a lot more in the transient.
And that's just weekday.
The revenue that.
No, she said overall.
Yeah,
overall.
Yeah,
Overall.
But the revenue that we bring in on the transient sites is much higher than a locked in one-time seasonal. So we're able to generate revenue that pays for it, so the park can pay for itself.
The other item as well is there's a chunk of non-electric campsites that have the lowest occupancy, and it's unlikely that people would want to turn those into seasonal sites.
Yeah, I
We
think
have
50% of our campsites are non-electric.
And we had-
So those
What
bring
percentage, I'm sorry?
about 50%.
I don't know.
We typically have one or two people that take a non-electric site as seasonal, and everybody else is not interested.
I understand the sentiment. I also am just hearing.
Yeah, I said, people can say, I can see why people would.
You may have an issue on the second half, the July, August, September, the third one where, families with children in school would not be able to access it. Because they're coming in July 27th or July 30th, and they'll be in August, September, October.
But if they're doing it now for 6 months, what would stop them from? I mean, if families with children are doing it for 6 months now, it's the same case, that there's only 3 of those months that the kids are
No,
on
she
school.
means that
So, but if they get that, if they only get that one spot, it locks out families in that spot. Right now, it's their prerogative to say, well, I'll lose, time and money and because I have to take my children to school. I don't have that situation, so. But I think if you split that and say there's the beginning one and the second one, a lot of families wouldn't take the second one, so you're gonna have a jam up in the first one. And it would limit families they can only use the first. So it's just.
So right now, but I guess I understand what you're saying, I think, but so to clarify, but isn't that the case right now?
No,
They're just not
because-
coming for the last 2
Because
months?
now we have to choose. Yes.
Oh,
Now
but they
we
just let the
choose.
trailer sit, not.
People could say, well, I have a family, but I have to take them to school, but I'll pay for the whole season. But now, because we have to choose,
Yeah.
most families would not choose that second one. They would have to do, so you could get a little more influx. I mean, I personally would choose the first one also, just because.
So what would your be, as a camper there, what would you suggest to allow more people to use the park seasonally for 6 months.
Well, for one thing, I would say that a lot of those sites that are seasonal, the people are there for the 4th of July and Memorial Day, and that's it. And there's some neighbors
We've never seen.
I've never seen. And a lot of them are lakefront. We use it all the time. We're there, 4 nights out of the week at least.
By that argument, shouldn't we be spreading it to more people though?
Yeah, I agree. So is there some way we can figure out what is the real occupancy of those seasonal spots? I mean, what?
The seasonal spots, there's really no way to know because they can come and go.
Yeah,
Transient
you really
people
control
have to register, but the seasonal, there's no way to know. But we do have noticed the same thing, a lot of the seasonal sites.
I would also be curious
unvisited.
Who are
But,
not.
I mean, that's a complicated, that's a complicated aspect of what we're
Can't force them
doing.
to come.
You can't force them to come, and it's hard to justify forcing them out, because, oh, you don't use your campsite enough, so.
Right, so
like,
We
yeah.
need to give it to someone else who works.
I did talk to a private campground locally that does do that.
Oh,
He
really?
said if the seasonals aren't coming regularly, they could lose out the next year, because he's got such a big wait list. He's like, I want people to appreciate the park and actually use it, not just sit on it.
Right, so.
So that,
We're not gonna do that, because that would be not.
but that private campsite actually keeps track, and if you don't have enough of an occupancy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Uh,
Let me ask this question. I mean, this is my own personal opinion as a board member, but I can see that there are people who care about the park and feel strongly about it. Would you be open to discussing it in a park meeting in which people who are at the park a lot could bring some suggestions about how they think our park could get more usage for more people, which sounds like our goal. But I also hate to ostracize folks who are using the park and not a lot. Is there some way we can move forward? There's a compromise between the 4 or 5 people who are very passionately here at 9:30 at night, some of whom are in their pajamas in bed, and the people who feel that our job is a useful entity is to get more people to enjoy our park. Can we have a further discussion about this, but not at this meeting, but maybe at the park meeting, and then come back to it next month, just because it is getting quite late in the day.
Well, it's something that we will have to, if we did do that, they would have to come this Thursday. I mean, we don't have a lot, like, the time, we're getting to the point where she has to start sending stuff out so that we can get answers back by the beginning of next year, because we need to know what's open and what's not for the whole revenue for next year. So.
But you're having a meeting Thursday, would you be open to people bringing some ideas there? I love to see people feel passionate about our park, which is obviously the jewel of Hector. I understand the sentiment that we want, as a municipality, our goal is more people using it. But also, like, I could see the logistics of, like, you only get 3 months until your camp. I just wonder if we could discuss this again and give some chance for public input to help us.
Well, it depends how many can come. I mean, it's a Thursday, and to try to, yeah, you have to hear it, but I don't think we'll get anybody different than we've already gotten.
Yeah, but maybe they
Right away for a meeting.
Maybe they can hear our perspective as a municipality, if we want more people to get a chance to use our park and bring some help.
That's what we're doing today on a public meeting. On a
What
public,
are the 30
what else
people on the waiting
can we
list?
do?
How are they gonna know about that?
Right. Well, there's some comments here. Someone says, I don't think we have the extra staff for all the, Sherry says, I don't think we have the extra staff for all the extra work this will entail, but of course, with a substantial price increase, you could perhaps afford it, but you can't get people to apply. And then Yana and Yuri say the lake is so cold except for July, August, and September. So that's 6 weeks only per person. The kids are still in school in May too. There are some people rarely that I agree, they just have the camper there. The people next to us showed up twice while we were there. Yana and Yuri say we need a survey, and there is a thumbs up to that. And Tuesday, what time and where? It's 10 a.m. I'm sorry, Thursday at 10 a.m. is at the park office. Is that where your meeting is? And also, I imagine that they would take comments by email that could be sent to the town clerk at hectorny.us, and I'm sure she would pass any information on that she received that way. And then Sherry asks, are any park board members actually campers? You need to hear what is important to seasonal campers. And then I'll make a suggestion if possible, because I know we have many things on our agenda still, if we could maybe move forward, if that would be.
Yeah, okay, but I don't think we should have a park office if we want to invite anyone from the public to come. It's not big enough, so we should have it here in this room.
Or the pavilion, could you meet at one of the pavilions at the
It's
park?
cold. I don't want to get it, but I'm not gonna say that.
Okay, yeah.
Is there space here? I mean,
Is this room open?
What other there's committee meetings the rest of those?
Thursday at noon is the first committee meeting.
Well, okay, yeah, 10 is.
So,
Is
yeah,
this- Can that,
yeah, so we can meet here at 10.
So I'll put it out
I
there.
certainly show up at 10.
Sure.
And I'll.
Bring ideas.
10 a.m. here, town hall.
But
Also, email comments would be acceptable. Again, it's townclerk@hectorny.us. You can get the email address through the website. And thank you for carrying around with our park. I hope we can find a way that everyone feel like we can move forward.
Okay,
But if it's okay,
we'll
that
move
we
forward. We're gonna skip over the end of season letter because of this,
Yeah.
and we need to go to the refunds. We have two.
just two.
Yep, just two.
There's a question for later in the day, but again, go ahead and submit by email.
Yep.
Yeah, refund Summer Flores for $95. She was within the 30+ days from arrival, so she's due a full refund of $95. Same as Margaret Arnold for an amount of $120. She canceled within 30 days from arrival, so she's entitled to a full refund as well.
What was the first name?
Summer Flores.
Yeah, I lost.
I
That's why I'm sharing it. So do we have a motion?
I make a motion to return, to do the refund as stated.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Any further questions?
just don't know where my copy of that report went. It disappeared.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Thank you, Mallory.
Yes, thank you guys.
Bye, Mallory.
Thank you guys for coming.
Next part.
Back to the box. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And, should I assume at 10 a.m. there's a meeting or?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it here or?
Yes, here.
Yeah.
Very good.
Tell your friends.
This Thursday.
I don't know who made the last resolution.
Liz, I second.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Take care.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, Mecklenburg Community Park. First of all, I'm sure you want to know about Oktoberfest. Just a quick summary. Our goal for this year was twofold, mainly to show the community what can be done with the community park. Therefore, we felt it important to change the venue a little. The main things that we did a ribbon cutting on the playground structure itself, which of course was our major investment. We offered for sale about 300 dinners. We had pork and chicken and we sold those puppies.
You sold all 300?
Yeah, pretty much.
Good job.
Yeah, yeah. We offered those and two different meals and it worked. We had tables and chairs for dining and sitting and they were strategically positioned around the park. By the way, thank you. We had good turnout from the town board there. We appreciate that. We had multiple musicians playing during the day at the grassroots pavilions. We had 6 vendors. They lined the eastern side of the park. We had a very carnival-like look with all the colored tents. There was a live display of apple cider pressing that took place. The trails were explored. The playground was very busy through the day. Lawn games, corn bin, balloon man, lots of things for the kids to do. Variety of beverages and snacks. Food permits and liquor permits and beverage permits and everything else were right up to the last minute. We got them all and did it. We had 3 portable potties on site and a hand washing station, hay rides from the parking to the firehouse. So that was a major goal, was letting the community know and see how much can be done at the little community park. I mean, that's pretty amazing considering there's no electricity and, it's just a patch of lawn and it's got a big playground. The second goal we felt was important was giving back to the community. And there was no charge to any of the vendors that set up this year. We honestly didn't know how it was gonna work out for them. But they could set up and sell their wares. The playground and lawn games were all free for anybody to enjoy and everybody. So there were no ticket sales for the games this year. No charges for any of the musical entertainment, no charges for parking or hay rides. So we felt that it was not as much a fundraiser this year as it was a giving back to the community and an event to show them what a community park can be for the area. It's a good thing it wasn't planned as a fundraiser since we did about 20% of what we have done in each of the last 2 years, but that's what it was all about. Lots of expenses, insurance, porta potties, chicken, potatoes, rentals, glasswares, containers, permits, et cetera, et cetera. It was named really a total success, I think. I think you guys that went and agree with that. It was beautiful weather, can't complain. So we were very pleased. We had several hundred people versus probably 500 or so before at the larger events, but it seemed to work. On another note, the bridge permits have been received. The pavilion plans are in the design stages with Macintosh Builders, and I need to ask Jason a question on this. We kind of need your input of how specific we have to be in our details to get a permit for the pavilion. And the reason is we're in this catch-22 between Macintosh Builders and our guy who's designing our pavilion. He needs to know, are they doing pre-built roof struts or are they doing the roof themselves? You know, those kinds of things make a difference in how he designs it.
Okay,
So,
just give him my number and I'm happy to coordinate with him and
Okay.
Hash Builders and.
okay, all right. I gotta get the three of you together so that we can get this permit, because we'd honestly like to break ground this fall.
Okay.
Macintosh Builders said they would be available to start in the fall, so.
Okay, our office works with them quite a bit.
Okay.
and So we'll.
Excellent. We're working with Luke, so I'll get Luke and Rob Cassetti and so forth together with you guys.
Okay, great.
All right, we're awaiting delivery of 6 trees. I didn't know if Rebecca had heard any more on that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And if you'd like to go over some of the placement suggestions that we're thinking of, touch base with me and we can arrange that, so you can take a look.
Who have you been working with on placement?
We've been working with Mr. Allen of the Dave Allen Landscaping Group. He kind of guided us a little there.
I don't know. I probably won't have much to offer for that.
Okay, all right. Well, if you'd like to, I can just give you an idea of where they're going.
Okay.
And the current 5 trees have been winterized for the season, and ones that we planted earlier this year. So we're off and running with that. Winterized meaning they've been composted and mulched, and we've got wrap on them to prevent the critters. They've already got stakes around them, so hopefully we won't get deer damage. So that's our update. We just wanted you to make me know that we're got the permits finally for the bridge, and the October Fest was a success.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for coming tonight. Jason?
Sure.
Great.
Oh, Jason, are you still here?
I will be as quick with this as possible. For September, we issued 19 new permits. Issued building permit construction value was just over $1,337,000. Closed out 2 permits with approximate construction value of $455,000. Collected fees were $4,186. So we do have an update on the shared service agreements. We tried to get them out a little bit sooner with Rob's correction or adjustments and input for the Elmira Heights. He's working on getting a cleaned up version from the Heights attorney. Justin, Rob, and I have all been in contact. We are a lot more comfortable with what the agreements where it's at now, with it being a 3-month commitment to help get the new guy, they have hired a full-time code enforcement officer there. It's more to help him get on his feet, sign the documents that he's not able to sign until he's completed his training. So any questions or feedback on where that's at this point?
I sent that an email just with a couple of changes. One, the fee obviously needs to be filled in. And then, there was, that section where it says quarterly updates will be, I felt like that language had to be changed.
And that's kind of.
And then the effective date needs to be put on there. I mean, you know, before it comes to us completely, yeah.
Okay, for the quarterly updates, I agree that I think that can come.
It's a 3-month contract.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it does mention in the same clause that there are designated representatives. It just, either that language can be changed, or if we're designating someone, we should designate them, just because this says designated, this means that they should be designated. But I didn't have any trouble with the rest of it. Those were just the that came to my mind.
Okay, and I'd say for the designated representatives, it would be the town supervisor, Hector, and the mayor of Elmira Heights.
That would make sense to me.
Or it might be your code enforcement officer and your code enforcement officer, just in terms of what it's mentioning in that particular section. But again, I don't know that it matters, but it says designated.
Well, it says designated representative serves as primary point of contact for matters related to this agreement. So I think it would be myself and their mayor.
Mm-hmm. In which case, I think that we should designate, if we're gonna have the word designated in there, I think it should say somewhere who they are. And maybe at the signature line, it does say, it doesn't say.
Well, yeah, your signature line says town supervisor and village mayor.
It's all for another 3 months, we won't need it at all.
Is the hope that we could sign this? I mean, it seems like they probably already hired someone.
They have hired somebody.
And that they need you, until they are licensed, you need to do the actual signatures on there.
Right, like review, I have to ultimately be the one that would sign certain documents. There's certain things that, like day one of their class, that they're able to sign, but there's certain criteria, there's certain items that you have to have completed all of the mandatory training.
So how soon can our attorney and their attorney get together on this? I mean, it seems like for them, they need, it seems imminent for them that they need somebody. Can we sign this document, a cleaned up version, at our next meeting on Tuesday, or?
Fair chance, I think.
Yeah, I think because, Rob had reached out late last week with hopes that he was hoping to have it
For today,
but it's not.
If you get it in, can you please email it to us just as a tender before the meeting?
We are pretty close to Burdette. We are sending it to their attorney.
And then I would make a motion to approve the Staboa training on December 10th through 12th at Tioga Downs Hotel in Nichols for our code enforcement officer. At a cost of, I assume, $250 with Staboa member.
Yes.
Okay, we have first and a second.
I didn't say that.
Any further questions or comments about the Staboa training? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Yeah, anything else, Jason?
That I think is it for me. It's one just quick thing, I'm working on finalizing things with, the electronic cloud with Williamson. I won't be at the next meeting, so I'm hoping to have everything in place, and I will send out a full description along with the quotes for the three providers. But I just wanted to give you a heads up but I will be communicating with you before that. The hope would be to get it for the November meeting.
So are the three providers of?
3 different providers of building permit software.
Oh, you're thinking of moving away from Williamson?
Most likely, in the when I had compared before, the others were more than double of Williamson.
This is the moving to the mobile version, so that you can do everything on site.
I see. So you're looking at Williamson
Most likely.
potentially, and then also 2 others.
Yeah.
If you change one of the other ones, they would also do our. I mean, you would shift everything, or would it just be for mobile, the new contract?
It would be for everything building permit related, but the cost, they have more bells and whistles, but the cost is substantially more at this point. So it's not something that I would have to basically double my contractual line to be able to switch. So
Your guess is you're going to be with Williamson still.
yes, most likely. I'm familiar with the system, so I mean it makes the most
Big
sense.
advantage, yeah.
So, but I will be sending updates, I hope.
And then were you able to get your printer and iPad for the mobile use yet?
I will have it within the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
So I got it out now.
Nice. Cool. Thanks, Jason. Sorry to keep you so late.
Oh, that's
we're sorry to be.
I'm sure you guys are.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
Thanks. Jane, you.
Yeah, you ready for me?
Yep.
Okay. All right, town clerk, total taken in, September was $8,582. The majority of that was, between licenses and building permits. So of that, $715.98 went to the supervisor for A fund. $4,246 went to the supervisor for the B fund, which the majority of that's your building permits and birth, death records, birth, death, and marriage duplicate copies. To DEC for hunting licenses was $3,478.02. To the state animal population control fund was $52. For the Department of Health for marriage licenses was $90. We did process in your vouchers. You should have seen the voucher to Southern Tier Animal Control for the 70% of dog license fees from January to September. We all saw that voucher to approve it as what was agreed to in the amended contract with him. I've got to get a hold of Williamson Law Book to get them to reset my program back to put Southern Tier Animal Control in as the person to receive that 70%. So hoping to make that happen before next month. Otherwise, we'll do another voucher.
You're saying it's directly already in our Williamson Law Book?
Yes, there, because we had it set up when we paid the Humane Society, we paid the Humane Society monthly. And then we changed it because when we thought we were still gonna be going with the Humane Society and then we ended up going with Southern Tier, any fees that were gonna be paid out of that, we're gonna be paid like a one-time fee, one-time annual fee. The Humane Society wanted it all in a one-time check. So as that didn't happen, and we didn't pay Southern Tier anything because there weren't any animals that he ended up keeping for that 5-day period that weren't redeemed by their owners. So that's where we were at. Then we amended the contract. We agreed to paying him the 70% monthly. So that was the end of that one. Water district. In the middle of our billing, Lori went to go print the print the billing register or whatever, something went haywire when it's involved, we had to get in the back end of the program and find the report that she needed to have printed out. In the meantime, there's something mysterious happened when there's an $83 discrepancy that we don't have any clue what it is. I, as of today, found out where it generated from, but in order to do the monthly report to, Kathy, I had to we had to make an adjustment for that $83 that seems to be hiding somewhere where we don't know. It's in the cloud, I think, but, so anyway, the billing end of it, between turn on fees and connection charges for the months of July and, or August and September. Yeah, no, for September. So the billing that went out was with, my brain is dead at this point, guys. With the water billing, the reserve fund, we had a new hookup at $1,400 and the turn-on charges of $225. The total of the billing for the month of September was $91,169.26. We collected a total of $41,990.86. That leaves an open balance as of September 30th of $80,733.19. Along with the September billing, we did send the re-levy notices out to customers that had an outstanding balance as of August 31st. We have collected several of those. They have until tomorrow. Hey, I will have an updated list. I think we're still a whole lot farther than we wish to be at this point, but there are some of them pay, there are some that never pay, so still working on your re-levy list, which as soon as I have numbers, we'll get to you. Let's try and put, oh, the last thing, Microsoft Office, that's where all of our emails go through. There's a $6 monthly increase that
Per email?
no, it's a, we currently pay for Microsoft 365, which that's where all of our emails run through. We currently pay $120 a month. As of October 25th, it will be $126 per month. That's the estimated cost for the 20 licenses we currently have, or the 20 emails we currently have. We just wanted to let you know that was going up $6 a month. That's the last I have.
Okay, the big one. As we all know, we have been working on this for 3 years. Our town has the opportunity to purchase the Hanson property just up the road here. We are looking for a spot to build a new highway garage. Unfortunately, the property that town has does not really accommodate a highway garage. The amount of money that would have to be invested in either this property or the total road property to level and build adds millions of dollars to the project. We have discussed as an opportunity, this would be a good piece of property for the town to purchase. We can ultimately potentially sell some of it back to the community. And in the meantime, we'll have a great location to build. We offered Heidelberg Materials, which is the current owner of the property. The property's assessed price of $513,794. They have accepted that offer and provided us with a 28-page agreement of sale, which you don't have sitting in front of you. We, Finance Committee primarily, but I believe Rebecca said, and at least one of them was the attorney for the town, We reviewed a number of items that we were all concerned about. The attorney feels that we've come to agreement on all of the issues that were concerned for us, and he has gone from recommending against signing the document to telling us that it's, at this point in time, it's safe and in our best interest to sign this document. So with that being said, if we choose to move forward, I do have a resolution. I guess I can read it all out. Whereas Heidelberg Materials Northeast LLC owns 2 parcels of property in the town of Hector totaling approximately 115 acres in size, collectively known as the property. And whereas it has come to the attention of the town board that Heidelberg intends to sell the property, and whereas the town board has considered acquiring the property for use by the town's highway department, and whereas to the end a working group designated by the town board has engaged in discussion with Heidelberg regarding the town's acquisition of the property, and whereas as a result of such discussions, the said working group and the attorney for the town have negotiated with Heidelberg a contract for the town's purchase of the property from Heidelberg, the form of which is attached here to the contract. And whereas the contract provides for inter alia a due diligence period during which the town may investigate the property for the purpose of determining whether the property is suitable for the town's intended use. And whereas the town board has determined that it is in the best interest of the town to execute the contract and proceed with the town's due diligence to determine whether the property is suitable for the town's intended use and whether it is otherwise in the best interest of the town to proceed with the purchase of the property. And whereas the town's acquisition of the property would be an action pursuant to the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act and its implementing regulations at 6 NYCRR Part 617, collectively a seeker, and whereas due to the size of the property, the town's acquisition of the property would be type 1 action under the seeker, now therefore it be resolved as follows. The town supervisor is authorized to execute and deliver the contract on behalf of the town. 2, the town board hereby finds the town's acquisition of the property would be a type 1 action under seeker and designates itself a lead agency for the purpose of seeker review. 3, the town supervisor is authorized to proceed to obtain or cause to be obtained all information with respect to the property that the town supervisor shall determine to be necessary to determine whether the property is suitable for the town's intended use and whether it is otherwise in the best interest of the town to proceed with the purchase of the property and to complete all required seeker reviews with respect to the town's acquisition of the property. In furtherance of the foregoing, the town supervisor is authorized and directed to negotiate, execute, and deliver on behalf of the town of Hector contracts for the professional services necessary for such due diligence on such terms as the supervisor and the attorney for the town shall deem appropriate, subject to applicable laws and policies. And 4, finally, the town's acquisition of the property shall be subject to final approval by the town board following the supervisor's report and recommendation to the town board upon completion of the above described diligence and completion of all necessary seeker review and making all required findings.
Second the motion.
We have a first and a second. Further questions and comments?
Where it says that the board of property used by the town's highway department. That's all?
That's the initial, it could be highway and town board, or excuse me, town hall. Put a library there, do a number of things, but primarily focus was initially that got this started was highway.
Town sports complex?
I mean, all of those are an option. It's not bound, we're not bound to only a highway department.
Okay.
I'm going to be asking for approval of hiring Hunt Engineering for an environmental, phase 1 environmental review, water sampling and completion of seeker. as part of this, these are the obtain, the information that you're authorizing the town supervisor to obtain on the property. While, we have come to an agreement with Heidelberg, it is still up to us to do our due diligence, and environmental review is covered in the contract. It allows us out of the contract if anything comes up in the phase one environmental review. And as part of it, the completion seeker is typical for anybody doing an environmental one.
I have a question on that part. Is it, I mean, I don't know if you've gone through this before, is it typical for them, it's a massive pond, it was an industrial site, is it typical for them just to do a surface
It's
water
called
sample?
surface sampling because the water is present on the surface. I asked the same question.
Okay.
They will pull, what they will do, because I've been concerned about this for both the well and the surface water sampling, is they will do the environmental review and say, okay, these chemicals were used on this property. We're going to search for these chemicals in the water review. They're not gonna, they'll do a baseline water review, but then if there's any chemicals that they find that were identified, because theoretically, anything that was used on this property, Heidelberg was supposed to report to New York State and the DEC, there's a DEC licensed facility. If they were using X, they're gonna be checking for X in the water. If they're using Y, they're gonna be checking for it. And I asked the same thing about surface water sampling. I said, this is a pretty big pond. I don't want just the surface. And they're like, no, we'll go in and do multiple water samplings throughout. So I understand that question because I had the same one, one of the first ones I asked when I talked to Hunt.
I was gonna say, you could pay me $1,100 to get into the top of the pond and pour in the container, and $1,100 to turn the tap with the spigot on and collect the waters in.
All right, so you do have a resolution that was offered by, Justin, seconded by Liz, to, authorize this resolution proceeding in accepting, proceeding with the purchase offer and, the seeker actions and that type of stuff that goes with it. I do need a roll call on this one.
Well, before we move forward with that, were there any other questions or comments?
Is the resolution that you read, does it cover the Hunt engineer?
No, we'll do that separately.
Okay.
That's separate. That's separate along with the down payment that needs to go.
We have to make a,
We have,
so yes, this is separate, then we'll do a resolution for a $10,000 earnest money deposit that will be held in escrow, and then we'll do also the Hunt engineering approval. So if we are no further questions, we'll let Jane conduct the roll call vote.
okay, let's start at this end. Jessica?
Aye.
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 So it's a 6-0, everyone in favor.
So I'll make a motion to.
Before that, we have one other one, I apologize, and then I will accept that. I would like to make a motion, make a motion that we write a check for $10,000 to Chicago Title Insurance Company as an earnest money deposit for that property.
I'll second that motion.
Does that have to be a roll call vote as well?
Should, just because of the nature of this whole thing.
Any other questions?
So we'll start with Michael.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Now, Anthony.
I'll make a motion to accept Hunt Engineers, Architects and Surveyors, proposal from Environmental Services. Do you need the parcel numbers?
I think I have them on all this document somewhere.
Okay, for the 5035 State Route 79 parcels.
I'll second that motion too.
I'm curious if we have discussion of this for a second?
Yes.
I'm curious if there were other groups brought in, just, I mean, just looking at the breakdown, like, I guess I'm curious if these are competitive rates, because like water sampling, the watershed will come out and do it for like a $25 fee. I mean, especially the one where they're sampling at the, running the water for 10 minutes, potable water sampling where I'm just $1,100 seems like a lot. I know that they do that for $25 down
It
at.
might be for the sort of generic sampling.
But that's just for the collection. The sampling fee is separate. I mean, to me, it seems like a lot of money to pay somebody $1,100 to let the water run for 10 minutes. Wear disposable gloves, collect the sample directly from the spigot before any softening water treatment system, and pour it into a pre-clean laboratory provided glassware sealed label and placed in a laboratory provided cooler with ice. But the lab fee is separate. That's $1,100 for them to collect the sample. But I'm pretty sure this watershed does it for $25. So I guess I'm asking, were there other codes for this?
They'll come out and collect it.
It might be 50, but it's not 1,100. And that's what they do. They let it run for 5 minutes, but not 10 minutes. But I mean, that seems like a really high fee for that. So were other quotes gathered?
No, because.
And like surface water, again, you can pay me $1,100 to go out and stick a dipstick into the pond and pour it into a laboratory. I mean, just the way it's broken down, those seem like very high costs to me that I have trouble justifying, and I don't know if we have other comparables.
Okay, I wonder if it has to do with the process being followed by the same group the whole way through, in case there's problems later, they can say, well, we didn't collect the sample, we were just given the sample. And if they expect to collect the sample and test the sample, and they might.
It's a good question. I'm just saying, when they describe the process,
It seems a little steep, but.
it seems pretty expensive for what they're, I mean, it doesn't say anything about chain of custody necessarily.
Yeah.
It says facilitate transport of samples to the lab, but.
So this is very specific. My understanding is as part of the environmental phase 1 review, if they're looking for chemicals, there's a board that what you're talking about will come do. But if it's not part of that, just sort of standard board, it will need to go out over and above the end.
But again, lab fees are separate. This is just the collection.
Yes, but what Schuyler County Watershed does is a BAC-T test, so like a bacterial test only. They don't test for other
For mercury or
things.
Yes, but lab fees are not included in that number. It specifically says that. The lab fee is separate.
Yes.
This is just the collection of the samples. So I guess I'm curious, is that standard? Because that's, again, you can pay me $2,200 and I'll go collect those samples, but that's, you know. So I'm just curious, do we have other quotes or estimates for this particular thing? Because to me, that seems excessive.
We do not. The professional services engineering firm, we don't have to go out to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's something that we could talk to Schuyler County Watershed and clarify whether they could do that, and then.
We can. This is, we have some time sensitivity, so I was trying to push this through.
Yeah.
But we absolutely can. And we can move forward with this after the next meeting.
I would be in favor of that, because again, $2,200 for sample collection seems expensive to me, especially because, as I said, pretty sure Watershed would do it for $50 a sample.
Maybe we should reach out to Hunt and ask them actually why
Yep.
it's $1,100 just to collect the sample.
Or like you could just walk out and turn on the spigot and run it for 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a lot of money for collecting 2 samples.
To be fair, I don't think anybody can turn on the spigot down there. I think they're going to have to extract the sample from the well. with it being the power.
But that's on us, that's our responsibility according to the contract. I mean, $1,100 is just collecting the sample according to this.
Okay,
I mean, we're voting on this or?
Yeah.
We have a first.
we have a first and second, so we'll have to vote on it.
No, actually, we tabled it. So Tuesday.
Do you have capacity to reach out to these guys?
I mean, yeah, I can.
Well, let's table it until Tuesday.
Okay.
Motion to,
All right, second that.
Are we all done?
Yeah.
We can, right, we can table the motion until Tuesday.
Yep.
Because we're in discussion and we are clarification for the discussion.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
And in the meeting.